Whitney Young football is on the air. You're joining us here from picturesque Rockne Stadium on Central Avenue outside the city of Chicago. Actually, inside the city of Chicago, west side of Chicago. We got a huge game for the Dolphins tonight. The Whitney Young Dolphins hosting the Westinghouse Warriors. So I'm Barry Newman. I've got Scott Clayton somewhere here. I think he's signing autographs or something else down below the stadium right now, but he'll be joining us. And we'll start talking about Dolphin football and this game, which is week 5 of the season. Dolphins come in here 2-2 tonight. Westinghouse also 2-2. Westinghouse also one of the schools within our Chicago Public League cluster. So we, along with Taft and Westinghouse and Bulls Prep, are in the same grouping within CPL, which will determine city playoff positioning later in the year. What I was going to talk to Scott about, if he ever gets up here, is last year's game. If you were with us last year, Dolphins versus Westinghouse, we played over at Westinghouse. Kind of a game where not a whole lot got going early on. It was a very windy day. Dolphins had 3 interceptions, I think maybe all in the first half. Kind of struggled to move the ball, but were doing a nice job defensively. Put a couple touchdowns on the board. A nice pass from Bennett Newman to Anthony Hood. A little double move that dropped the defender, and Anthony waltzed in for a long touchdown. And then Joseph Clayton had a long touchdown run that I think at the time all of us Dolphin fans were feeling pretty good about ourselves. It was 13-0. But then, and what you'll see tonight, and this is the lead on the Westinghouse side, is Askaya Bully, number 1, is their quarterback, an all-state quarterback at the 5A level. And Askaya Bully basically took the Westinghouse Warriors on his back and engineered 2 touchdown drives, including one that was very close to the end of the game. We also had a funky thing going on there where the clock went out, right? So if you remember that game, up in the stands, we felt like we played maybe a 4th and a 5th quarter, but the clock was being kept on the field. Enough time for the Westinghouse to score on their last possession, and then convert a 2-point play, 2-point conversion to put them up 14-13, and then we weren't able to get a score on the last possession. So the win went to the Westinghouse Warriors. Westinghouse went on, qualified for the state playoffs last year. So they are a team at the 5A level, so they qualified to state playoffs. And they lost first round to Sycamore, which is the state runner-up at that level. So definitely a strong showing for them. And they also qualified for the city playoffs. Coached by Julius Carter. He's in his 5th year. They've qualified for state 2 times, back in 2018 and then again last year. I think the big thing for tonight is, hang on one second. I've got to check one thing off air right now. Hey, Mark. Is your brother here? Do we have the contact? Oh, okay. Okay. All right, I need to jump off air for just a couple seconds. I got to run down on the field, so we're going to let you have a view of things, and then Scott Clayton's going to jump in here and take the headset in a second, but don't go away. We'll be back.
Good afternoon, good evening, football fans. We're switching off here. Barry went to take care of some business, and I'm just arriving. Looks like a somewhat beautiful night, a little overcast, humid. Let's hope we don't have any issues with cramping tonight. Hopefully everybody hydrated prior to. So tonight we've got the Whitney Young Dolphins versus the Westinghouse Warriors. Both teams 2-2. Warriors lost to Perspectives, who the Dolphins beat. So hopefully history rings true, and the Dolphins can make it 2 in a row. Last week's game versus Curie was, while positive, it was a bit of an anomaly. Curie really was not up to the standard of play that the Dolphins are used to. They haven't scored in 3 weeks. Hopefully they can pull it together and put some points on the board this week. So with that, let's take a look. I don't have the injury report. I do know that Rico D'Alessandro is still out with an Achilles issue. Hopefully he can recover quickly. Rico, sending you good thoughts. Hopefully we can get that Achilles rested and get you back this season, as well as prepared for basketball season. So my partner has rejoined. How are you?
Hey, I'm fine. We had a little equipment malfunction. Not actually a malfunction, a equipment addition that we needed to take care of for number 12. So we're good. What have you been talking about?
I was just talking about Rico and his Achilles and sending him good thoughts. Talking a little bit about last week, and hopefully history will ring true, given that the Dolphins beat Perspectives and the Warriors lost to them.
You're doing a little transitive property of things, as we like to talk about. Yeah. So I think I'll continue on that line in discussing. I just sprinted up the stairs, so I'm out of breath. On the injury front, good news is that this is probably the healthiest that the Dolphins have been all year.
Knock wood, as I hit myself in the head.
Yeah. I don't believe in jinxes, so we can talk about facts. All right. So the facts are that Barry Gordon is back tonight. He warmed up before last week's game, but the plan all along was for him to come back tonight. And then we saw Joseph Gray make a big impact last week. Tyson Hayes with a safety, big impact last week. And then we had a couple guys miss last week's game just from a family, personal perspective, and they're back. So Luke Yolich and Brian Pantoja. So we've got a few guys on the special team side that might be out, but in general, I think we're looking really healthy. I'm going to talk about this Westinghouse team a little bit. Actually, it's kind of interesting. They haven't started the clock here. So I'm not sure. We were scheduled for a 7 o'clock kick. I'm not quite sure that's happening. Normally they give us a 20-minute countdown, but anyway, I had a chance to catch up with Coach Dan Finger earlier this week, and let's take a listen to what Coach Finger had to say.
All right, I'm here with Coach Daniel Finger of the Whitney Young Dolphins. Coach, quick reflection last week on the Curie game. Scoreboard 43-0. Great to throw a shutout. A lot of stats from some offensive guys. Let's talk a little bit more about what got those guys there, and that was the line play, I think, both on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, I thought our line did really, really well creating lanes in the run game. We saw that with, some explosive plays, some long runs. So for us, that's run plays longer than 15 yards. And then a lot of time to pass. I think almost uncomfortably, an uncomfortable amount of time. Sometimes for the quarterback, that kind of gets fidgety back there with how much time he had in some of our passing game as well. So, it starts with the center, Nick Dale. He's got to do all the blocking that everybody else has to do, and he's got to snap the ball. So did a really good job with that, and our interior guys, Bob and Efesimi Obadele and Juan Spada at left guard and right guard, respectively. We're dealing with the kid who's a pretty good player, frankly. They're number 54 and 56, and then the biggest kid we've seen all season probably in there, I think he was number 79, was absolutely massive. So, really good job with our interior guys, and then Jason Perez at right tackle and MJ Woods at left did a great job making sure there was no, exterior pressure, no outside, blitzers or anything like that. They were picking up everything and really moving their feet well, and in pass protection especially. And then in the run game, all the guys are playing downhill. That's something we talked about pregame. Just being violent, and maybe you're not 100% assignment sound, but you're 100% violent, and good things were going to happen if our ball carriers were going to follow really violent linemen. Even if our assignments weren't 100% and we weren't perfect with our alignment or anything like that, but if we were violent and getting downhill, we were going to have a lot of explosives, and I think we saw that come to fruition on Friday night.
All right, on the defensive side of the ball, got Tyson Hayes back. He made an impact with a safety, and just overall getting a little bit of healthier overall for the team right now.
Yeah, it was really nice to have Tyson back. A senior leader, really great athlete, and guy who's played a good amount of football for us. So, immediate impact, several tackles for loss, just played really downhill, and in a position he, we didn't have him in preseason. Jason Perez has sort of stepped up and filled that star backer role for us really, really well, and we were really happy with how he played against Morgan Park and Perspectives, and we didn't want to change that up. We knew Tyson was going to be able to adapt and play jack, and that actually playing into the boundary was going to play to his skills a little more, and we saw that. He got to be downhill and got to pursue kind of like a madman, and made a lot of TFLs, including a big sack for a safety there. So, really like that, and then defensively, it really helps for me as the DB coach when quarterback doesn't have much time to throw, when the run game is shut down. Those two things make it really, really easy for DBs. And it ended up being there wasn't a target past 10 yards, I don't think, on a pass attempt from them. And so, our guys up front played really well. Joseph Gray getting back in the lineup with a few TFLs and just really good pursuit was awesome. And Joseph Clayton has stacked another game where he's really, really productive defensively. And then our D-line, our unsung heroes in our scheme, they're playing by design. They're taking on double teams every play, and that takes a certain level of sacrifice and a certain level of tenacity to be able to stick your nose in there and understand that you may not make tackles because you're going to face two blockers. And I mentioned him earlier, but Curie has 54 and 56. Those guys are actually really good players. I know their record isn't great this year, but those are some of the toughest linemen we faced all year. And I know Nick Dale and Juan Spada and Boubacar Berry and Bob and Efesimi Obadele were taking double teams from those guys, and then later in the game, Dylan Pieruccini. And it was a tough assignment. So credit to those guys for the shutout, because it starts with them, and it doesn't happen without their efforts that they put out on Friday night.
All right, very good. Pivoting to Westinghouse, tell me a little bit about what this game means in the overall schedule and the overall season for the Dolphins.
Yeah, this is perfectly the midpoint, right, of the regular season. So we've got 4 behind us. After this game, we'll have four regular season games after. So this is the midpoint. This is where we really find out who we are, I think, and it's an opportunity for us to build on some momentum last week that we generated with a good win. But I tell our guys, your momentum is only what you do in practice the next day. And I think that's sort of an adage in sports like baseball, where your momentum's your next starting pitcher, and in football, because games are so spread out and because you practice so much more than you play, it really does come down to how you practice next. And so we had a good practice yesterday, really good practice Tuesday today, while the JV guys got a W over at Mather. So, I'm excited. I think our guys understand who they can become, and that it's not just going to happen, though. And so it's been fun to see them choose that. And Westinghouse is a good team. They always play us tough. They've had a tough schedule so far, and they've beaten some good teams, and they've battled against some really good teams. And so, we're not just going to run them over, and that's never the case really in our conference. But it's important that our guys understand that we can, if we choose to practice really, really well, if we choose to bring the focus and intensity every day and really push each other every day. and so far the guys have done that. So as far as Westinghouse goes specifically, they're going to have really talented guys on the perimeter. They're going to have decent size up front and tough-nosed kids. But their quarterback's, an all-conference, all-city type performer. I think he was all-state, actually, last year, 5A. He's a really good player. And, if we as a staff, we like to do what we call a pre-mortem. So identifying through our game planning what went wrong if we lose this game. So we fast forward a week, we say, all right, we just lost. What happened? This week's pre-mortem is that kid runs a lot. He gets out of the pocket and he makes deep throws a lot. And if those two things happen, we're in trouble. So we've been talking about that a lot this week as well.
All right, and how about the offensive side of the ball for the Dolphins?
They give us a bit of a challenge coverage-wise. They play a few different coverages that are disguised. It's hard to determine pre-snap exactly what it is. But they give us that 4-3 front, sort of a classic NFL style. Not as popular in the NFL anymore, but in the early 2000s certainly. And so we're excited to be able to block it up. We've been practicing against that front for all summer. We've been sort of seeing this. We're going to see it from a few other teams. Taft is going to give us this, and Clark and some other teams. So we're excited to finally get that 4-3 over front and run downhill.
I think we're going to cut off Coach Finger right there because it looks like we're just about ready to go here. And when Westinghouse takes the field, we'll get into a little bit more. He touched down Askaya Bully, the all-state quarterback for Westinghouse, number 1. I'd say this, Scott, we'll see in their passing game. You're going to see some quick passes to wide receivers right off the bat. That's sort of phase 1 for them. Phase 2 is that their receivers are very skilled against a zone in sitting down in that zone and Bully finding them in the zone. He's got a rocket of an arm. So that's sort of phase 2. And phase 3 is when all bets are off and Bully's just running around back there creating plays. The guy sometimes runs around back there where I think he probably draws 2 or 3 different plays in the dirt and is keeping himself alive. So here's the kick from Miles Bardsma, fielded by Westinghouse across the 20, outside to the 30, still on his, tackled right outside the 30-yard line.
Let's see how this Dolphin defense holds up. Hopefully we can have a repeat of how they shut down the Morgan Park running game.
Yep. I think Kunle Allen Espinoza over on the tackle. Bardsma. I know we've got Bennett DeRoss kind of flying around on special teams. So the other thing we want to watch right off the bat is what look the Dolphins come out in because they've been looking at this game. I mean, Coach Finger always talks about taking it week by week, but as soon as the schedule came out for this one, I know this was something that was highlighted in everybody's schedule, highlighted in mine, highlighted in Coach Finger's. They know that Bully is going to pressure this defense in many, many different ways. So Askaya Bully, number 1, all-state quarterback for Westinghouse. The Dolphins on the line, led by Nick Dale. Looks like we've got MJ Woods out there to start with. Number 55 is Babanefasimi Opedele. And then Tyson Hayes, who's back in the lineup, sort of at that outside linebacker, the jack position. Clayton as the linebacker. There's a Sky taking it off to start with and tackle in the backfield. Tackle. Pursuit by Joseph Clayton from his linebacker position. Clayton
got him by the shoelaces.
Warriors.
So I think Clayton's eyes are going to be focused on number 1 this entire game. So actually Luke Jolich is in at that the other linebacker position next to Clayton. So second down, Bully back to pass. Tyson Hayes all over him to start with, but that's what Bully does. He stays up. I think you're going to get maybe a face mask penalty there. And so Bully's still on his feet, gets tackled out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So yeah, so the flag came out right in front of the referee. I think you're going to have a face mask penalty on Tyson Hayes as he was trying to take care of Askaya Bully.
Well, he's definitely slippery.
I mean, if we weren't playing against them, this guy is awful enjoyable to see because he just keeps things alive. His jump cuts are just staggering. You just have guys jumping out of there. There's going to be all sorts of things left on the field. Jock straps, ankles. all sorts of things we'll have to Zamboni up after this game.
I think we've got a good matchup between our linebacking core and Bully. This is going to be a good one.
So the penalty takes it out to the 44-yard line. Bully trips to his right, or his left. Now man in motion. A shovel pass over to the running back number 2. He's got some room over there and continues to push where he finally is met and
looks like they'll give him forward
dropped.
progress
Yep.
to the 53.
Do we have a 53-yard
no,
line?
No, we do not have a 53-yard line. That would be the 47.
We all got to get a lot more locked in here right now. But yes, an 8-yard gain on first down. I think that was number 2, Matthew Sims Jr. You'll see him making a lot of plays tonight along with Troy Williams, number 3. They like to keep it in single digits for us. So that's Bully back there looking at so this is what he does really well. You got A.J. Powell. And you can see it's the Dolphins zone defense. Those guys know how to sit down in a zone, meaning they stop their route where there's a soft spot in the zone, and Bully has a quick release and had time that time and shot it for the first down. First down at the Dolphins 40. Quick pass over to Sims. Joseph Clayton on the initial hit. So pickup of a couple. Again, Westinghouse also runs a tempo offense, so Scott and I will be talking fast tonight because the Westinghouse offense will be moving fast. So pick up about 3 on that pass from Bully over to Sims. So now he's got receivers left and right. High snap. Bully corrals it. Opadelli with some pressure, and now Clayton closing on it and tackles it out of bounds. Nice fill over there. I think probably, was it Maxwell Warner or Jason Perez? I think Jason Perez cleaning it up. Jason Perez on the outside. Clayton was spying it all along and used that what are we going to call Clayton's speed in the 40?
Oh.
4-4.
Actually, it's more like 5-0.
Tonight it's 4-4. He's fired up. So that brings the ball third down. There is no gain on that play from the 38. Bully back to pass. He's pressured up the middle. Now he's on the run. Clayton and Luke Jolich coming up for the tackle, but that's a first down.
Warriors.
So again, this is one of those things where Bully keeps plays alive. You've got to be really gap sound up front. And that's not easy. We've got our 3 defensive line going against their 5 blockers. So first down at the 32. Bully with an inside handoff. Nicely done. Joseph Clayton. Actually, Babanefasimi Opadelli on the tackle. Right up the middle.
Gain of 3 yards. 2nd and 7.
So I think that was
Warriors.
Troy Williams on the carry.
Except for that first TFL, it's been nothing but positive yards for the Warriors.
So pick up about 4 on that play. 2nd and 6. Knocking on the red zone. Warriors are on their first drive. Man in motion. Tight. Bully with a pitch over to the left-hand side. Good job by Clayton making that initial hit and then brought down by Cepeda and Anthony Hood filling from his safety spot. Probably a loss of 1 on that play. So that's how they try to attack the edge with some of their running
Yards. 3rd and 7.
attempts.
Warriors.
So 3rd and 7, and this team will go for it on just about every 4th down. So again, they're back to the line in a hurry, looking to the sideline. Bully's got 3 receivers to his right, running back in his backfield, motions him to the left-hand side. Back to pass. He's got some time, now getting flushed, and completes it.
In triple coverage.
Yep, right in front of Javon Hobbs.
Westinghouse.
Triple coverage to number 7. That's A.J. Powell.
Really like
Arshawn A.J. Powell.
Like to see the Dolphins jump some of those routes.
Well, and that's, again, these receivers are good at finding that spot and being in there. So, yeah, it was triple coverage, but he had that spot in the zone. Handoff up the middle, met immediately.
Tyson Hayes
off the edge.
Can't ask for anything more than that, really.
I think that was, I'm trying to get the ball carrier's name. I got
Gain of 1 yard.
Oh, I
Second and
don't
9.
have a number 40.
Warriors.
So, 2nd and 9. Warriors on their opening drive here. We've got 6:36 left in the first quarter, so they're already taking up just about half the first quarter on this first drive. Bully looking. He's got a man open in the end zone and brings it in for a touchdown. So Bully kept that alive
Touchdown.
and
Warriors.
hit Matthew Sims
Touchdown
Jr.
scored by number 2, Matthew Sims Jr.
So a touchdown pass from Bully to Sims Jr. And we are off and running.
Bully definitely kept that drive alive. Each time we thought we had him, he escaped.
Yep, so they definitely have it opened up. I mean, last week against Amundsen, they had a tough time getting things going. Westinghouse did. Snap, kick, and it's no good.
Kick is no good.
No good on the point after.
Westinghouse High School
This,
lead,
we'll have to
6-0.
see. This could end up being a shootout tonight, Scott. I hope we can shoot back.
Yeah, we
because
definitely-
Westinghouse has definitely came out
High
gunning.
school sports to all of our student athletes across our 3 sport seasons. For more information on our
Looks
sports
like they cranked up the volume on the
please visit
sound
our
system
website
this
at
week.
CPS Athletics.
Well, we'll just try to talk over the top of it. So that opening drive, 6:22 left here. So I might even be able to do the math on that. So that drive was 5 minutes and 38 seconds. It started just around right around the 30-yard line, so about a 70-yard drive. Couple looked to be positive plays. The almost sack by Tyson Hayes, but Bully ended up getting away for a long run on that one, and then the face mask, we think, penalty added on top of that, and then a number of different third down conversions throughout the drive where Bully was able to either use his legs for positive gains himself or use his legs, stay alive in the pocket, and then find those skilled Westinghouse receivers. I'll say this real quickly here. Westinghouse is prone to onside kick, so I certainly hope the Dolphins are ready for that. They tend to not kick very deep. You got to get on top of those things right away, so that's Nazir Rankin trying to get to the outside, trying to get to the corner, dragged out of bounds, and maybe going to get I don't know, are they going to call a horse collar on the end of that?
Face
or a
mask.
face mask. So he got to, so on
He
his.
called it on us.
Oh, maybe on the stiff arm? Oh. This is, I don't like the way this is going right off the bat here, I got to say. But I'm not going to, I mean, he had a much closer view of it than I did. So a face mask, I think, called on Nasir Rankin on his return.
Starting at the 25.
Dolphins going to be led out there by quarterback Bennett Newman. Newman had 3 touchdowns passing, 1 rushing last week. Yolich in the backfield with him. Anthony Hood, he's going to have a sky of Bully following him around all night, I think. Down to the left, trips to the right. Newman pulls it, hits Hood. Hood still working. Hood made a great contested catch and then kept his feet and almost was able to break out for a big one.
That was pure athleticism. Everything down from the catch to the couple of yards after the catch.
Yep, so that was a RPO. Dolphins have had that in their playbook all year, but definitely worked on it a lot in practice this week. So it looks like they are, okay, we got Rankin and Hood on the right-hand side, just trying to check what the coverage is. I think we might have had some illegal motion, actually, 5-yard penalty, so that'll make it 1st and 15. So the back judge called it, must have made some movement on that interior line. So again, the line, Coach Finger mentioned it at the outset. Nick Dale, Babanefasimi Opadelli, Marcius Woods, and on the other side, Juan Cepeda and Jason Perez done a really nice job all year. Yolich in the backfield, trips to Newman's right. Now he's being flushed out of the pocket. really dangerous pass, and I think that Westinghouse came down with it.
I think it was incomplete.
Pass is incomplete.
All right. So,
The wide receiver turned into the defender.
yep. This might have been Barry Gordon over there breaking it up. I didn't see it exactly where it was intended. That was a little bit of a risky pass. I mean, Newman fired it over there, but he was on the run pretty quickly in that set of that play. So second down, 15. So again, if you're just joining us, Westinghouse scored on their first possession, 70-yard drive. Dolphins now with the ball. They've got one first down, trying to get back on the right side of the sticks. You can see Westinghouse really stacks the line, stacks the box. They've got one deep safety, corners on the side. Everybody else is looking to come. There's a linebacker looking to blitz. Quick pitch over to Yolich. Yolich pinballs his way over the 35.
He picked up 3 yards on that hit.
Yeah, he sure did. He got powered right over the top of that.
6 yards.
So nice positive run for Yolich. It's going to bring up 3rd and long, 3rd and 8. So have to see again. I think Westinghouse is going to look to bring pressure. So then it's just a matter of, is there enough time for Newman to find his athletic wideouts? Hood and Rankin to his right. We got 3 receivers, empty backfield. So Yolich is to the left as well. Newman, nice time for him.
Plenty of
He's
time.
Looking around, overthrows Yolich and almost picked by number 7. That's A.J. Powell. A.J. Powell, who had the touchdown reception. So Miles Bardsma, I think he's going to be in punting. So Dolphins get one first down, but not able to push it further than the 39-yard line. So Bardsma lined up at his 25. Warrior receiver is lined up at his 38. Nice snap. Booming
Excellent
punt.
kick.
Booming punt by Bardsma, and bounces out of bounds at the 25-yard line. So great job. That's what happens when you've got yourself a 4-star long snapper delivering it to a strong-legged sophomore Miles Bardsma. So that did a nice job of flipping the field for the Dolphins. And that's actually, I'll just bring that up right now. I mean, special teams might be a big part of this game. And I think, again, it's the 4th game of the year, 5th game of the year. I saw some Westinghouse stuff from game 1 against Montini where they really struggled special teams, struggled even getting punts away. Now, this guy, a bully, is a guy who doesn't often either get a team to 4th down, or on 4th down he ends up taking it himself. So you have to actually force the punt. There's a handoff up the middle, stacked up nicely on the front end of that D-line. I think Clayton with the initial hit down below, and then cleanup duty taken care of by
Baba Nefasimi
Opedeli.
I think if we can get an initial push, we've got an official timeout. Is that an injury? It is.
So there's an injury, number 53 for Westinghouse is coming off.
He's holding his left arm.
Devarian Stevenson. He's a senior, 6'3", 231. Being helped off the field right now, looked out by the Westinghouse staff. Hope to see him back in later.
Just looking at this Westinghouse team, they've got a good deal of size on that squad.
They have some good size, but I say this: we faced bigger teams already this year, so it's all relative when you're playing in the Chicago Public League. So Bully back to pass. He's looking to run. He's throwing that thing out of bounds, so that's going to bring up a 3rd and long. So really nice coverage.
Pass is incomplete.
Good coverage, good penetration.
Yep. So you had Hood, Warriors, Jason Perez over on that side defending that short throw. Cornerbacks in the game right now. I think we've got Maxwell Warner and Javon Hobbs. So Warner closest to us, Javon Hobbs on the high side. So 3rd and long, 3rd and 11. 3-man line for the Warriors.
And we still get a push.
Great push. Opedeli and Tyson Hayes were on the pursuit. Jason Perez on the coverage on A.J. Powell went off his hands and almost bounced over to a Whitney Young Dolphin.
They flushed him, and I thought Clayton might clean up.
Yeah, so nice job, Tyson Hayes, Babanefasimi Opedele, getting Askaya Bully out of the pocket on the run. He still was able to deliver a nice throw. I mean, again, this kid is a heck of a player. He was all-state for a reason. So now let's see if my conversations around special teams can play into it. The game that a couple of games that I watched, the biggest challenge was the snap to the punter to start with. So punter back at the 10-yard line, Rankin right around the 50-yard line. So that's a good snap and does get it away. Rankin gets out of the way, and the ball's going to roll dead right at the 50. Officially at the 50, not the 51. Right at the 50. So great job of the Dolphins defense there, answering that initial drive that Bully put together, the 70-yard drive that ended up in a touchdown.
Let's also note that on that play, that third down play, they only rushed 3 down linemen.
Yep. Sort of choose your own poison, right? So Newman in at quarterback. He's got Barry Gordon in motion to his right. Running back right behind him. That's Joseph Clayton. He takes the handoff and immediately fires out for a 8-yard gain. So real nice job of Joseph running downhill.
They had 9 people in the box.
Yeah, they are loaded up there. I mean, so this is a thing. I mean, they have some great athletes in the defensive backfield. So you've got to be able to do some blitz pickups there. And they do disguise a lot of coverages. So even if they have guys in the box, some of those guys are dropping out for coverage. So this is one of the more sophisticated defenses that we're going to see all year. So 2nd and 7. Newman has Rankin in motion. Newman looking to pass. He's got Rankin. Rankin across the 40 to the 35, a first down. So call it the 36.
He sat down in that zone.
Absolutely. That's Nazir Rankin is a sophomore. Again, we talk a lot about him being a basketball player and having a guy that has a couple D1 offers already. Really learning quickly that wide receiver position, and that's one of those skills. It's you can't continue your route into somebody that's covering in another zone. So right there, Rankin sat down, got a first down for the Dolphins. Rankin in motion now. Newman with a handoff. Clayton with some room to run. Clayton rumbling out, jumping across the 25.
That's a Dolphin. First down.
Like to see that. Like to see the juice in those legs.
Moving the sticks.
That was.
Let's keep this momentum going.
Yep, the Dolphins had their heavy package in there. That was Dylan Pericini, who was in at the extra line position. Has done a nice job all year. So Anthony Hood to the top of the screen. 3 receivers to the left. Clayton in the backfield. Handoff to Clayton. Gets through. Breaking through. Hang on to it, baby. Keep going. All right.
He's doing good work. He's darting through that line.
Absolutely. Sticking a foot down and going forward and keeping his legs moving. So that ball inside the 5-yard line to the 4-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal for the Dolphins. 1:21 left here in the first quarter. So this is one of the things where against Amundsen and Montini, both of those teams were able to run up the middle on this Westinghouse team.
Let's see what we do. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
That's right. So Newman quarterback, Clayton directly behind him. Newman positioning Joseph Gray and Barry Gordon on his left. He's got Gordon in motion now to his right. Newman back to pass. Newman fires it in to Rankin for it. Oh, called it incomplete.
Wow.
I think everybody on the field, I certainly thought it was a touchdown. But yeah, so it was a nicely placed ball.
He had a little pepper on it.
There was some velo on that. So 2nd down after that incompletion, near touchdown to Nazir Rankin coming across the middle.
Say put the big boys in and let them keep eating.
I hear you. Let's see if Coach Boucher, what he thinks about that. A lot of talent here. on the Whitney Young Dolphins. Hood right now lined up in the slot. We'll see if that plays out. Little shovel pass to Hood, trying to get the angle.
We got a flag on the play.
Tackled for a loss as well as a holding call on the Dolphins.
Holding offense.
So inside shovel pass to Hood. Couldn't get the corner turned, and then also a hold likely on that that outside edge where sometimes it's tough as you got guys coming across your face pursuing a play, and if you're engaged with them, that's a lot of times where we see those holds. So that takes the ball back to the 14-yard line. Replay of second down for the Dolphins. 38 seconds left here in the first quarter, the action-packed first quarter that we have here at Rockne Field, Rockne Stadium on Central Avenue in Chicago. So Newman again signaling to his left. He's got Clayton directly behind him, brings Rankin in motion. There's the handoff to Clayton, trying to get those yards back. Across the 10, probably down to about the 6.5-yard line. So Dolphins set themselves up for a critical third down play here.
Actually, it's the 9.
3rd and goal, Dolphins.
Okay, yeah, let's call it, again, this is the pickleball lines that are in there. So it is the 8. It's that yellow pickleball line that's there on the 8. And that is going to take us to the end of the first quarter.
Young Dolphins 0. WCIU TV.
Definitely a lot of action going on in that
a lot of
first
action.
period.
I didn't even have a chance to get a bite of Sorelli's in the first half here. A little Italian sub, a little Italian beef sandwich. We got some cowbells going on. I got Brian Van Welden in from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, giving me some cowbell. I got the whole Newman family, Newman contingent down there. We know we've got some other Newmans joining us on the live stream. Ellison Newman down in Nebraska, of all places, right now.
Well, I got the memo about the blackout, but it looks like not many others did.
I'm doing it. I mean, I think it's tough. It's like you've got all your Whitney Young gear. You don't have your black Whitney Young gear, and so you're kind of caught in that rock and a hard place, right? Am I going to wear my Dolphin stuff that I love to bring out, or going to wear the blackout? So blackout theme last night was a Barbenheimer theme at the Whitney Young Dolphins volleyball match. So that was either wear your pink to support Barbie or your black to support Oppenheimer.
Did it require a fedora and a tie?
You know, I wish I could have been there. I had a few things going on. I'm not sure. I don't think it was required. I did see an awesome turnout of fans. So definitely a lot of Whitney Young fans supporting. A little easier when it's in your home gym versus coming out here to Rockne. Never an easy Friday afternoon trek through rush hour. So, second quarter starting off here. Oh, yep, thank you. Brian Barrett going to give me some stats, which I will time of possession. Whitney Young, 519, total yards, 58, 4 first downs. And Westinghouse, 641, most of that on that first drive of theirs, 71 yards, 71 total yards, 70, I think, on that first drive, and 1 on the second drive, and 4 first downs for them as well. So balanced offense so far. However, what's not balanced right now is a scoreboard, which is tilted in the favor of Westinghouse, 6-0. So with the Dolphins lined up at the 8-yard line, we decided. I'm not sure what's taking so long to blow it in, but Anthony Hood is in the backfield as the quarterback. Clayton next to him. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Anthony Hood's going to take it on his own and is tackled immediately. Probably a loss of a couple yards. Tackled in the middle of that line by number 53. I think Dolphins are going to come on and try to kick this field goal. So this is our first field goal attempts of the year. That was Devarian Stevenson. We saw him go out before. So Ben Barrett, long snapper. Vaughn Conrad is the holder. He's going to hold that from the 22, so a 32-yard field goal. Offsides by Westinghouse. If there's not a flag on that, this is ridiculous. There was a Westinghouse player that was offsides by about 3 steps. 3 steps, blocked the kick, and a flag didn't come out. So this is going to be a game that the Dolphins are going to have to win by a couple scores because clearly we're playing against 2 teams right now.
Yeah, that was blatant, so not really sure what happened there.
Yeah, okay. All right, I'm going to take a breath and not that was ridiculous.
We've been kind to the officiating crew so far this season, but
well, evidently we didn't have this crew because that's all going to change. All right, so let's get dialed in. So on defense, Tyson Hayes, Barry Gordon, Harrison Gassa, Baba Nefesimi Opedele, your front line guys. Clayton and Yolich as the linebackers. Duhan Hood as the safeties. Askaya Bully is the quarterback for Westinghouse. He's got 3 receivers to his right. Yeah, they're still waving a guy on the field. I think they're missing one. So I think Westinghouse is going to take a timeout. So Westinghouse takes a timeout because they had 10 guys on the field.
This is their first timeout. CPS has made it a priority to provide more equitable access to
one of the things that we'll have to see, and it could be just making sure we can rotate guys and keep guys fresh, but Daniel Finger and Coach Connor O'Donnell, the defensive coordinator, looking at a little bit of a speed line in there right now with Gordon, Gassa, Baba Nefesimi Opedele, and Tyson Hayes. So definitely the lighter side. You don't see Nick Dale and Juan Cepeda and Marcus Woods in. Again, we'll see if those guys rotate back in. But right now they might want to put some of those speed guys on the field to try to contain Bully. Chase Bully, contain Bully.
Tackle Bully.
There you go. Let's put those 3 elements together. So again, if you're just joining us, 6-0 Westinghouse. They scored on their opening drive. Point after was unsuccessful. The Dolphins on their second drive got all the way inside the 5-yard line. Looked to have what we were excited and thought was a touchdown pass, but wasn't able to be hauled in by Nasir Rankin, and then went backwards from there and then had a field goal blocked. So here we are, 6-0 early in the second quarter. Bully fakes the pitch, is looking. Now he's got a guy wide open. So
breakdown in coverage.
Yep. So eventually ushered out of bounds by Quinn Duhan. So that, I mean, again, Westinghouse can do a lot with Bully and what he's able to do. So they faked that pitch to that running back, and then he got lost in coverage because then the Dolphins' eyes went downfield. So Troy Williams on the reception after the fake handoff to him. Williams is in the backfield with Bully right now.
First and 10, Warriors.
So let's see again if the Dolphin defense need to be gap and assignment sound here because Bully just stresses the defense every which way. So there's a handoff to Williams. He's got some blockers, but he's stacked up.
Clayton fought through that initial block and wrapped him up.
Yep, so Clayton and I think Yolich as well on the tackle. So it was good because he actually had some room over there, and then you look up and it was only a 2-yard gain. So nicely done by the linebacking core of the Whitney Young Dolphins. Yeah, because Harrison Gassa is on the nose, Baba Nefesimi at the right end, and Barry Gordon on the line as well. So Bully with that inside handoff. Joseph Clayton meets the running back. Running back kept his legs going, but Clayton a nice hit. Coach Finger talks about violence a lot in a positive way. And that was a violent hit by Clayton.
3rd and 2.
After about a 6-yard gain. Yeah, I call it a 6-yard gain on that. Out to the 46-yard line of the Warriors. So 3rd and 2. See if the Dolphins can come up with a big 3rd down stop for their defense right now. I'm sure it's 4-down territory for the Warriors. So there's the give and stacked up, but fighting for yardage. And I'm sure with this officiating crew, we're going to be
first down.
You're going to be signaling a first down. I don't know. Actually, they're the way they're marking it right there. We got a Dolphin down momentarily on the field. Yep.
Timeout on the field.
So we got somebody down on the field.
Can't see what number it is.
Yep, I have to check that out. So I do think it's just short. I think it might
For more information on the league,
looks like they're marking it 4th and 1.
Okay, 4th and 1.
With Special Olympics
I
Chicago
see.
and Special Olympics Illinois, please visit
Okay, well, we'll wait until we can see who that is before we speculate on it. So again, yep, fast-moving Westinghouse playing that tempo, gets in there and gets their plays and gets on the line and goes, as opposed to a couple schools we played this year, Perspectives and Curie. I was looking last week at that Curie game, and I think that our total number of plays in that game, if I pull this out, if I can get to it, it wasn't very many. So it was, I think we had a total, Newman was 14 of 18 passing, and I think we had about the same number of runs. So total plays in that game, yeah, it was literally 13 rushes and 19 passes. We probably have, we're probably at least halfway to that, if not more, already. So Coach Finger, Trainer Sam out there checking things out. And then we were sort of rushed at the top, so I want to head back and look, see if I had some notes. I talked about how Westinghouse made the playoffs last year. Bully, so we've talked about him, first team All-City and All-State 5A quarterback last year. He has an offer to play at St. Francis for the Fighting Saints already. Probably pick up a few more of those offers. He's also, and this doesn't surprise me at all, he's also a guard on the Warriors basketball team. You can tell with that vision. So he's a standout basketball player as well. And not bad in the classroom, 5.0 grade point average for Askaya Bully. And if we want to talk about Westinghouse in general, Westinghouse, and maybe that's my segue from Bully playing on the basketball team, Westinghouse is a storied franchise, storied school on the basketball side of things. So some of their alumni include Mark Aguirre. So Aguirre went from Westinghouse over to DePaul. Hershey Hawkins and Eddie Johnson, all basketball alums for the Westinghouse Warriors.
That looks like Tyson Hayes.
Yep, that is Tyson Hayes. So Tyson Hayes just battling back from an injury sustained in the first week against Hope. It's now down on the field for the Whitney Young Dolphins. So send out our best to Tyson. Coach Finger over there checking in on him. I'm going to hydrate a little bit here.
Looks like Finger took his helmet, which almost leads me to believe we might be dealing with a concussion issue. I don't want to speculate.
Yes, we're not allowed to speculate because we do not have our doctorates. And we are a long way away. But yeah, we'll try to see if we can get some word at halftime up from the Dolphins sideline to get an update there. So it definitely has slowed some things down here at Rockne Field. Looks like they're working to get
him up. Maybe it's his.
Yeah, they are. They're picking
carrying up.
Yeah, so
off.
Probably
a leg or an
the
ankle.
lower body there. So Tyson, who's playing that jack, that outside linebacker position. They're carrying him off the field right now. Sure, his teammates are clearly concerned for him. We'll see. They're going to bring him over to the bench here and work on Tyson. Good hand from the crowd here. Always tough, tough to see one of your friends. This team is very, very tight, so we'll see. Hope the best for Tyson. So with that, the 4th and 1, we've got the heavy line in. So Dale, Cepeda, and Marcius Woods checked in on the line. 4th and 1. This is a big play here. Bully's going to keep it. Great job by Jason Perez, and then taken care of by Joseph Clayton and a host of the Dolphins. So Perez made that play happen. he got the penetration from the right-hand side, forced Bully back in, where that linebacking core of Yolich and Clayton were ready to take care of business. So that's going to turn the ball over on downs in Warriors territory. That was a big-time play.
That was an excellent display of gap discipline. Everyone stayed at home, stuck to their assignment, did their job.
All right, so let's see if the Dolphins offense can get in gear. Newman at quarterback, Yolich behind him, gives the ball immediately up the middle, and there's something that's working there. Like you said last drive, let those big guys eat. And so they're running right in behind Nick Dale, Bobbin Efesimi Opadele, and Juan Cepeda in those inside positions.
A quarterback's best friend is a sound running game.
Absolutely, because then you can work in some of the play action stuff later. So pickup of 3.5, ball at the 45, 44-yard line. Yolich again, the running back. Hood with one-on-one coverage on the bottom. Again goes to Yolich. Yolich hitting that hole.
He just knifed his way through.
Yep, he did. Saw an opening, got in there, kept his feet moving, just short of a first down. So I think that's going to be, we'll see where they mark it.
It's at the 40.
Yeah, it's inside. It's at the 39. So 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2, probably a long 2.
Here I was looking at the down marker.
Well, I think we had to scooch it over there a little bit. So 3 receivers bunched to the right. Hood on his own on the top. Yolich with the handoff. Yolich looking for the edge, putting his foot down, getting a first down.
That's a Dolphins first down.
So that's a heavy dose of running.
Yep, so good job on that right-hand side. So Jason Perez and Juan Cepeda on that right-hand side of the offensive line. And there was also the stacked up wide receivers. So I think Yolich benefited from having a host of Dolphins over there to block.
I thought we agreed that we were going with pod.
Well, I like to mix it up, So you just can't keep going to the same thing over and over. So 2 receivers right, 2 left. Newman, handoff to Yolich with a big, holy cow, he's going and tripped up at the 20 by Calvin Travis. So big hole to run through for Yolich.
And they had the box stacked.
And then the Dolphins going tempo of their own right now. 7:23 left here in the first quarter. So they see something they like. They see Westinghouse trying to get their guys on the field. And I think Westinghouse is going to have to take a timeout. Yep, so Westinghouse takes a timeout as they were trying to run guys on the field.
I think they were hoping that the officials would hold, but the Dolphins didn't substitute. So
that's right. The Dolphins were back up there. So this is a game where all facets of the game have to hit on all cylinders, right? These are evenly matched teams. You've got great athletes on both sides of the ball. So that's offense, that's defense, that's special teams, and that's coaching, right? And right there, the Dolphins, after that first down, they got right back up. They probably noticed something where Westinghouse was swapping out guys. Westinghouse was trying to get bigger in the middle, like the dude that they were running on the field, number 70, Ralph Love, 6'1", 250. So they're trying to plug him in there as they were seeing that middle of the line getting gashed. And score one, a little one, for Coach Boucher and Coach Finger in that matchup against head coach Julius Carter of Westinghouse. So that's Westinghouse second timeout here. 7:15 again. Westinghouse with a 6-0 lead, scored on their first possession. This is a second long drive for the Dolphins. They put it inside the 5, but couldn't put it home last drive. Now they're inside the 20. Barry Gordon in motion. Newman handing off to Yolich. Yolich has got his feet moving. He's going to make a move and gets inside the 10 down to about the 7-yard line, 7 or 8 yard line. So really nice vision by Yolich. And again, nice blocking by that Dolphins offensive line.
At some point, the umpire, I think, is going to get knocked over. That's 2 plays in a row where the umpire formed an obstacle.
I thought you meant that I was going to run out there and knock him over if we get a bad call here. Which
no, I don't think we have to. I don't think we have to resort to that.
All right, so handoff up the middle. That time, Westinghouse said, So, again, you had their leader on defense, number 15, Devarian Stevenson, getting some penetration up the middle. And so this is where, again, the Dolphins had a really nice drive going last time, got themselves inside the 5. Now they're inside the 10. That was marked as a no gain, so 2nd and goal.
I'm wondering what's going on when we get down here in the red zone. It seems that things tend to tighten up.
So, yeah, and that's just the nature of it, right? There's not as much real estate. So, Yolich in the backfield, Hood wide to the right. Newman tossing over he tossed it over to Barry Gordon, who wasn't quite ready, didn't have his head around. That was I think a nicely designed play. And Hood had gone deep and taken the defender with him. Barry Gordon coming across the backside of that line had a spot. Now, Newman was under pressure, and so had to get it out there right away, and Barry just didn't quite get his head around quick enough to be able to reel that in. So 3rd down, 3rd and goal. So Newman with some instructions to Rankin. 3 receivers to his left, Yolich in the backfield to his right. Newman with some time fires it off the hands of Joseph Gray, I think, over there.
4th and goal. Dolphins.
Yep. So off the hands of Joseph Gray. He was open, but couldn't reel it in. So we've had a couple. This is the woulda, coulda, shouldas need to end here. So we've had 2 passes in the end zone that looked like TDs that we couldn't quite corral. So that brings up 4th down. 5:46 left here in the 2nd quarter. Westinghouse up 6-0. Receivers to the left, number 3 Anthony Hood, number 1 Nasir Rankin. To the right, Gray and Barry Gordon, sorry. Rankin in motion. Newman rolling. He's got some backside pressure, running out of room, throws it up, and I think it was off the hands of the Whitney Young receiver and intercepted. I think that I don't know exactly who that was as a receiver, but it was Newman was running out of real estate, found a receiver off a hand up in the air, and Westinghouse makes the interception in the end zone.
Intercepted by Warriors number 7, Ashawn.
Yeah, that's Ashawn A.J. Powell, who's had a near pick, a touchdown, and now a pick. So Dolphins defense has to dial it up. You know, a lot of these guys play both ways, so it's tough. You have a long drive like that you're not able to finish off, but you gotta take a deep breath, flip your switch to defense, and then get back to what you can do to contain Askaya Bully and this Westinghouse offense. So that'll be a 1st down after the touchback on the interception. Newman's first interception since the first half of the Hope game. High snap. Bully is able to bring it in, but off the edge, that was Barry Gordon getting there first. So I'll say this. In the games that I watched, a lot of high snaps like that as well. So I watched 2 games on the film, the Montini game and the Amundsen game. And Bully has to use his basketball skills throughout the game in corralling high snaps. So that's a loss of 4 on that play. So Bully back to pass. Good pressure up the middle. Clayton closing on him. Clayton makes the initial pressure, and then I think the ball came out. I think the ball came out. And we'll see what the signal is here. But the way everybody was jumping in on that pile, it looks like it's Dolphin football. So Clayton made the initial hit. I don't know who came in there later. Maybe Babanefasimi Opedele. I know he's hopping off right now. But anyway, it was good pursuit immediately by the Dolphin defensive line. Flush Bully from the pocket. Clayton came up from his spy position and slowed up Bully, and then the second wave or third wave, depending on how many waves we got going on, was cleaned up, and the ball came out. So Dolphins get the ball back. And Westinghouse is going to take their third and final timeout.
I'm not sure that they gave us the ball.
So it's still. I thought I saw. Well, we'll have to see.
Yeah, they're calling it third down.
Okay, so still third down. I thought. I mean, there was definitely an official that motioned Dolphins ball, without a doubt, because an arm came up and Coach Finger jumped up and the whole Dolphins sideline jumped up. And then someone else on the crew came in and gave the ball back to Westinghouse.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but I think we're definitely dealing with a remedial crew.
Well, I mean, as much as I give myself pep talks about these things before games, yeah, we've dealt with quite a few, and this year has been very clean. I mean, I think we've seen some very good officiated games.
We have, and it's unfortunate that this is the crew that we've drawn tonight.
All right, so regardless, third down. So Harrison Gassa,
Warriors.
I think Juan Cepeda in at the nose, Barry Gordon on that right end. So Dolphins going to rush 3, drop everyone else in coverage, and see if they can corral Bully and his talented receiving core here on 3rd and about 8. So inside handoff with a bunch of room. So that's a first down.
Warriors.
I think Anthony Hood came up on the tackle. So that time the Warriors dialing up a run on 3rd and long because of that 3-man line. So 3-man line, we said this is a chess match between these coaches. So Dolphins try to go big, and they let Bully roam. They try to go small, and they ran that ball. Again, high snap. Bully corrals it. He's going to be brought down by Yolich after a gain of about 2.
It also helps when your wide receivers get 2 steps off before the ball snapped.
That certainly happened. That topside receiver was on his way quickly. So looks like MJ Woods checking out and Cepeda checking in. So 58 and 68, sometimes tough for an old guy like me to spot. So Cepeda in at the nose, Harrison Gassa and Barry Gordon on that line. So a lighter line. 2nd down. Bully is sacked in the backfield. Great pressure. That's Harrison Gassa, or Aaron Champion, right?
Champion got the tackle, but Gassa forced him to pull the ball down
so
with that length.
Harrison Gassa with his 6'2 frame jumped up, and then Aaron Champion, who checked in the game and is playing that Tyson Hayes, the jack position, came off the edge with the pressure. So that brings up 3rd and 13. 3rd and 13. 2:48 left here. If you get a stop here, Coach Finger, if it's not an incomplete pass, Coach Finger's going to want to start using those timeouts. But let's get a stop first. So Bully back. He's flush from the pocket. Clayton with a zero in on him and a nice tackle at the 37-yard line. Maybe they're saying Bully stepped out at the 36.
That was excellent pursuit. He took a good angle.
Yep, so I think it's fair to say that what Clayton is doing is he is spying Bully from his linebacker position. And so they're trying to limit what Bully can do. So now this is because it was out of bounds, the clock is stopped, 2:26 left. Looks like the Warriors are going to bring on their punt team. I would still be worried about the fake.
Definitely.
But there's and that's what the Dolphins are doing. They're lined up in their typical defensive set. High snap, punt is away. Anthony Hood is back deep, but he's going to let that bounce. Anthony, get out
away.
of there. Yeah, he had thoughts. He had thoughts of it. So rolls dead at about the 34-yard line.
1st and 10.
So a heck of a lot of action here in a game that the scoreboard reads 6-0 with 2:17 left. But man, there's been a lot of action. The Dolphins have had 2 drives, one inside the 5, the other inside the 10, that they could not find points on. And Westinghouse had a nice 70-yard drive right out of the gates. Since then, the Dolphin defense has been able to put the clamps in general on Bully and Westinghouse. So we're going to go to a 2-minute drill here, although Anthony Hood is in at the Wildcat quarterback position. So, and actually now there's a full-scale change out. Not quite sure what's going on here. So I'm not quite sure what's going on.
I think the officials
the whole defense came back on the field. So I don't know if there was a penalty. If there is, I'm gonna need to really. So it's being marched back. What was I'm just trying to figure out what the call is here. So it's going to go back. It looks like there was a penalty on Westinghouse. It looks like maybe I'm going to make this up, but I'm going to take an educated guess that there was a hold. We'll see if the official gives us a signal. I think there was a hold. Unsportsmanlike.
I was going to say that's more than a 10-yard penalty.
Yep. So unsportsmanlike conduct call on Westinghouse. So marches off 15 yards. Now the advantage here is that the Dolphins can bring out that punt block team. Nasir Rankin checks in. He's standing at the 45. Dolphins going to pin their fins back and see if we can get a punt block here.
I see what you did there.
Oh, yeah, that's what I did. Snap. Punt is away. Cleanly, actually a nice punt, and going to roll dead at the 40. So Javon Hobbs also had a little thought there. So
I don't know what's going through these Dolphin brains when it comes to these punts.
But a 25-yard flip of the script on that. And I think that also changes the dynamics for Coach Finger. My thought was that at the ball at the 35, they maybe were going to take that conservative approach and just have Anthony run from the Wildcat. Now they've got Newman out there, Yolich again behind him. The Dolphins have all 3 of their timeouts, so 2:07 left here in the first half. Dolphins take over at the Warriors 40. 3 receivers to the right. Newman with a blitzer up the middle. He's going deep, and an amazing catch. A one-handed catch. A one-handed catch by Nasir Rankin.
Nas Rankin with the Odell Beckham catch.
On a fastball. I mean, that wasn't like Newman threw the changeup and he put it away. Newman threw the fastball down the middle of the field, and Nasir Rankin. All right, Dolphins, let's put this one in the end zone.
I don't know why they let that defender off the field.
I think they called it maybe a quick injury timeout. I don't know. But Newman handoff to Yolich, and Yolich stacked up immediately, 52 and 51 on the Westinghouse side. That's Jareth Santiago and Jeremiah Jordan meeting Yolich immediately in the backfield. So Dolphins have plenty of time here. They have all 3 of their timeouts. They're letting the clock run, so Bully doesn't have an opportunity. Now like Coach Finger is going to take it.
I got to tell you, this offensive line is looking a little schizophrenic when we get down into the red zone.
Yeah, they're blowing up the Westinghouse defensive line, marching up and down the field, and then we have struggled, to say the least, in the red zone. So it'll be second. Actually, it's not a goal to go situation. So ball is at the, I think Nasir Rankin got it down to the 12. I think it might have been a loss of 2 on that last play. So we're going to look at a 2nd and 12. Could get a first down at the 3-yard line.
I'll tell you what I'd like to see here is a little play action. They've been overly aggressive on that defensive line, and I got a hunch those linebackers will bite.
Well, and I think that that last set of downs, the that play with the drag pass to the H was one thing that was set up really well with some things that they did earlier. A little bit of early pressure, and so didn't quite put everything together. So now Hood is in at that wildcat position. Hood is looking. He's got a guy to beat around the corner. He's got blockers out there. Hood is cartwheeled down to the 5. I think that there's going to be a Warrior player that is down after making that hit. He's working his way back to his feet. That's number 11, Calvin Travis.
I think they're going to make him come out.
Yeah, so the Dolphins, 1:15 left. So the Dolphins struggling on getting that run game going in the red zone. Now have Hood in at the wildcat running back position. Hood could also throw it. Hands off, the ball on the ground.
Clayton
recovered it. So I think Coach Finger going to take another timeout here with 49 seconds left, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
I think that was a timing issue.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things where, they do definitely work on this Wildcat offense during the week. So with Hood at quarterback and Clayton at running back, but there's a lot that goes on there, right? Because it's not just a straight handoff. It's there's a read option that's going on there, and Hood, who's definitely taking a lot of snaps at quarterback, but just getting plugged in there. So
Coach Finger's pretty animated down on the sideline there.
So it's the Dolphins' 3rd trip inside the 15-yard line. Still not with any points on the board. We did this last year against Taft in that game where took a bunch of things inside and couldn't finish them off. So Newman checks back in at quarterback. So you got Hood and Rankin to his left, Clayton in the backfield. Gassa and Joseph Gray off to his right. See if we can get some time. There's a flip out to Clayton, and he's in for a touchdown. And I'm looking, and I'm seeing touchdown.
No laundry.
So I was a little concerned. There was a great block on the edge, and just the way things have gone, I wasn't worried. I didn't know what was going to go on. And then we also had a crazy horn that went off right before that. But I don't care. At the end of the play, the officials couldn't find any excuses to not put up their arms in a touchdown. So this is a huge play right here. Ben Barrett to Von Conrad.
And it's good.
And the kick is up and good for Miles Bardsma to put the Westinghouse Warriors down. See what I did there? 7-6, so Whitney Young with a 7-6 lead. This game is really taking a toll on me.
Want to send some good thoughts out to Tyson Hayes. He's being carried off right now, so just keep him in your thoughts tonight.
Yep. So Tyson, our thoughts to you, my man. We'll try to put one in the win column for you.
Hate to see that. That's it's a good young man.
Absolutely. Tyson's a great guy. I wanted to pull the thing officially, but Tyson is an award winner for the Boys and Girls Club. They won basically, call it their man of the year, student of the year. And he was actually out this past week, did a college visit to Pomona out in California, where Sam Wyatt, Dolphin linebacker who graduated 2 years ago, is out playing for Pomona. Awesome school. I mean, and Tyson, awesome student, and everything else that he does. So we'll hopefully get him looked at, and we'll get a report on him, not tonight, but we'll fill you in when we can. So Bardsma going to line up the kick from the 40. 37 seconds left here. Let's see if we can finish this off on a positive note. Ball bounces and is picked up by Westinghouse at the 15. Champion on the outside. Good return. I think eventually Devander.
I couldn't see what happened, but it looked like 2 or 3 Dolphins just went down on their own.
Devander Shoemaker with the hit out of bounds. And so good return by Westinghouse. So puts Bully in business at the 38-yard line. 30 seconds left. Again, Westinghouse is out of
Ball marked
timeouts.
to the 38-yard line. 1st and 10. Warriors.
So Bully is going to try to keep things alive and throw some things deep, I would imagine. I mean, I can't imagine Westinghouse wanting to just go in at halftime down 7-6, especially with the talent that their receiver has. So Dolphins back in a zone defensive look. Tyson Hayes, there's a pass completion. Meant to say Harrison Ngasa. So Yolich making the tackle. Clock running, 15 seconds left. That catch was made by A.J. Powell again. So Bully with some time. There's Harrison Ngasa wrestling him down.
Excellent, Harrison.
And the ball came out. Oh, but he was down. Down by contact. Down by contact, and Bully.
They're throwing a flag.
Well, so we'll have to, and then the flag came from about 50 yards away, not from the official that was directly in front of the play. They're calling a face mask.
On the defense.
They're calling a face mask on the defense, so this will be an untimed down after they mark off 15 yards. And I don't know, folks. I mean, and Remy's doing a great job on the camera. Maybe all of you see it at home, and you know that it's a face mask. I think what's just strange here is that there was an official right on top of the play, and he was done with it. He was fine with everything that happened, and then the official standing next to Julius Carter on the Westinghouse sideline from about 58 yards away whistled in his laundry from that side of the field. So untimed down from the 50.
Ball marked to the 50-yard line. 1st
You
and
got
10. Warriors.
Duhan Rankin patrolling that deep zone along with Hood. Joseph Clayton gonna be happy to just take a Skya Bully, usher him out of bounds, and we're gonna head to halftime, ladies and gentlemen. Whitney Young leading both the officials and Westinghouse 7-6 right now. All right.
That was an interesting first half.
Interesting first half, to say the least.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Let me go some of these other things. I'll try to talk and breathe deeply at the same time.
Woosah, woosah.
Oh my goodness. All right, so Dolphin sports this week over at Mather. Our JV Dolphins took a 6-0 win, big time win for the Dolphins. That opening kickoff of that game, Sean Miller took that opening kickoff back for a touchdown. So I'm going to give some shout outs to our parent volunteer live stream chain gang guys. So Sean Miller, son of Brian and Gretchen Miller, who do a heck of a lot for the program here, and whose older brother Brady Miller is a Whitney Young Dolphin football former player, now full-time student. But Sean took that back for opening kickoff for a touchdown, and then the 2-point conversion. Von Conrad, who we see a lot of here, holding and doing other things, hooked up with Jacob Wildermuth. So Jacob with his first points on a 2-point conversion for the Whitney Young Dolphins JV game. Jacob's going to put in a lot of time. You're going to see a lot of him in future years here. He's a kid that's been in my carpool, always entertaining to drive Jacob around, and he's just grown, and he's a squat machine. I think he's definitely put on a lot, and he's going to show that through the years at Whitney Young. I also want to mention Sean Miller. We talk a lot about our guys like Nasir Rankin, a D1 basketball guy, Rico Antonio D'Alessandro basketball guy at Whitney Young, who will also almost without a doubt play at the next level. We talk about Maxwell Warner and his All-American level triple jumping talents. Sean Miller, you know what he does at a national level?
What's that?
He is a ninja.
As an American Ninja Warrior?
Yep, Ninja Warrior obstacle course. So Sean's been doing that since he was 8. and has competed as a member of the Ultimate Ninja Chicago Elite Team Regional since 2019. He's been to the Worlds. Sean has been a Worlds finalist in the annual World Ninja League competition each of the last 2 years, and is currently ranked in the top 15% nationally in the teens division.
I have a confession to make. The Clayton family, all 4 of us, are huge American Ninja Warrior fans.
All right, well, you can be a Sean Miller fan and cheer him on not only as a Whitney Young Dolphin, but as an Ultimate Ninja Chicago Elite Team member. So that's our JV football summary. We're going to flip it on over to our friends at flag football, girls flag football. They are rolling right now. So they defeated Lindblom earlier this week, 35-6 on senior night. And seniors tallied some stats that night. Quarterback Sonali Angus. Listen to these numbers, Scott. You remember? She's on my fantasy squad. I always talk about Sonali. 24 of 36, 5 touchdowns for 358 yards.
I'm no statistician, but I'm pretty sure that is a QBR well over 100.
Yeah, I think that's probably whatever the max is, 158.2, however they get to that. So receiver Haley Taylor, 6 catches for 76 yards and a touchdown. So these are all seniors. Receiver Lily Meinertshagen, I hope I got that right for you, Lily. 3 catches, 29 yards, and also 15 rushing yards. Gabriela Godinez had 2 sacks. Martha Lopez had a flag pull and an interception, also a senior. Others rounding out the stats on offense, Dee Dudley, 5 receptions for 102 yards and a touchdown. Marcella Matalana, 5 receptions, 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Danielle Lamb, a catch for 15 yards. Abby Plotchka, 4 receptions for 15 yards. And, of course, on defense, man, Nina Lloyd just doing her thing on defense. 2 flag pulls, 1 interception. Nina has 8 interceptions on the year. Kennedy Glover had a flag pull and 1 interception as well. So the girls flag football team, big-time games tomorrow for them. They've got 2 games, a 1 o'clock game against Jones and a 3 o'clock matchup against Lane. And I talked to Coach Val, and she said that Lane game, while each Dolphins and I think Lane have a couple games left after that, but very likely determines the conference championship with that game. All those games are played at the National Teachers Academy turf field at 2301 South Federal. So if you want to head over there and watch some girls flag football, they'll be in action tomorrow. Soccer, shout out to my good friend Jason Hockman, who provides me these updates every week. Whitney Young Soccer had 2 matches this past week. They overwhelmed Maine West on Saturday 6-2 in a game that was never in doubt. Cole Hockman kept his scoring pace, netting 2 goals. Reese Kruschel scored 3 times and continues to lead the team in goals.
Hat trick.
Exactly. So tune in on this next one, Wednesday, big-time matchup against Taft. And so this is for the conference title. So title on the line. Young needed to win to have the championship. Taft just needed a tie or a win for the championship. Game was evenly matched, and Taft struck first with an end-line cross to the back post that found the Taft player's head for a 1-0 lead. I like that, Jason. Jason just said it found his head. Not like the kid had his head in the right spot. It just sort of found his head. Young put pressure on the Taft defense, hitting the crossbar and peppering the goalie. Reese Kruschel scored on a penalty kick with less than 10 minutes to play to tie the game. But Young could not find the go-ahead goal, and for the 2nd straight year, tied Taft with the conference title on the line. Reese Kruschel has 15 goals on the season. That has him ranked 2nd in goals for the Chicago Public League and 7th in the state of Illinois. Young is back in action tomorrow at home against the number 2 ranked Evanston. What are the Evanston
Township Wildkits?
Wildkits. I should know that as a Wildcat. I should know the Wildkits.
Hey.
They open CPS tournament play at home on Monday at 6 o'clock. So a lot of these other sports are wrapping up their conference schedules and getting into tournament play, both at the city and the state level. That's my segue to girls golf. Girls golf three-peated. They are now the 3-time defending Chicago Public League champs. Unfortunately, I don't have last names for these girls, but Mackenzie was in 2nd place, Isabella was in 3rd, and Aria was in 4th place. So dominating performance by the Whitney Young Dolphins on the girls' side. So that is our Whitney Young update. Let me slide on over to some Chicago football, Chicagoland football. I'm going to take a quick drink, though. if you're out there, get your Sorelli sandwich and your beverage of choice for the second half.
As you take in the cuteness that is the first couple of rows of the Whitney Young stands.
Yeah, Remy doing a good job of getting us some crowd shots as well. So some good games out there. Let me highlight one for you, and I would have known nothing about this rivalry if I hadn't gone to St. Ignatius playoff matchup that trekked out to Prairie Ridge with my good friend Joe Poltz, who has 3 kids that have gone through St. Ignatius, and we watched the Prairie Ridge versus Ignatius game, one of the just all-time classic games that I've ever seen. So Prairie Ridge tonight, they're number 1 at the 5A level. They're going against Cary Grove, number 5 at the 6A level. So again, Prairie Ridge 1 at 5A, Cary Grove's number 5 at 6A. This is a game you probably could have seen it pretty much the same in 1958. Both of these teams run old school, double wing, option, smash mouth kind of football, and they're doing that out at Cary Grove tonight. So that's a conference matchup. If you ever have time, and you want to go see some old school football, fire up the '57 Chevy and head on out to Prairie Ridge for that. So they're going tonight. I want to talk about some of the Chicago Public League Red matchups. So first I'm going to give you some scores from last week, just to kind of give it the context, because it is tightly packed. We're still we're reaching the halfway point of the season right now. So again, back to Scott's transitive property. So we talked about Westinghouse. They dropped a 28-18 game last week to Amundsen. Amundsen runs sort of that lane double wing type of offense, and they were able to really execute their runs in the red zone, something that we haven't been able to do super effectively tonight, although we got in on that last possession. So 28-18 Amundsen over Westinghouse. Bulls Prep 48, Clark 8. So that'll be interesting to see. We haven't seen Bulls Prep. They are in our cluster. So they had a big win over Clark. Kenwood Simeon, Kenwood 48, Simeon 12. So Kenwood, with their D1 contingent of guys, declared their leadership along with Morgan Park in the Chicago Public League. Morgan Park, and then we talked about this because I think it was a Thursday night game. They won 24-20 over Phillips. Brooks, a 38-6 winner over Urban Prep, and Taft, also a team in our cluster. Taft 20, Lane 7. So if we talk about games that are going on this weekend on the red side, you've got Amundsen already played Curie last night. So Amundsen won that game 34, Curie 8. So Curie got on the board, ladies and gentlemen.
Good for them.
Yep, absolutely. Morgan Park playing at Perspectives, Bulls Prep at Taft. So that's the other 2 teams in our cluster are playing each other tonight. So we're playing Westinghouse. They're in our cluster. Taft is playing Bulls Prep. So that'll be interesting to see the outcome of that game. UP Bronzeville at Phillips, Brooks at Simeon, Hyde Park at Kenwood, and then Lane at Clark. So those are your Chicago Public League Red Division games. A few other games I want to talk about. Our friends from Chicago Hope Academy, mentioned a few times how they moved into the Chicagoland Christian Conference that has some powerhouse teams, including Marion Central Catholic and Wheaton Academy. So Hope, who had lost the week before to, I think, Aurora Academy. I'll have to look that up to be sure. But anyway, they went out and beat Wheaton 30-29. Impressive win for Coach Millette and the Eagles. So that bumped them up. They're now ranked 10th in 1A division. That's Hope. Other games tonight that I kind of want to keep my eye on. Mount Carmel, number 1 ranked 7A team in the state. Definitely gonna make a long run and probably, without a doubt, one of the top 1, 2, 3 teams in the state. They take on Carmel tonight. So Carmel, Carmel's like up in Antioch or Mundelein, something like that. Smaller school, Carmel Catholic. Bennett, Newman, Anthony Hood train really closely with the starting quarterback at Carmel Catholic, Johnny Weber. So Johnny is a senior this year. He got a bunch of looks from Big Ten and MAC schools, but he committed to go to Southwest Missouri State. So Carmel is 4-0. I'm sure Mount Carmel, they look past no one. I mean, they're, again, Darion Dupree, guy going to Wisconsin, Alonzo Manning Jr., their other running back going to Navy. They're not going to look by Carmel, but I think if there was a line in this game, I would take Carmel Catholic and the points. Another interesting game, St. Ignatius is at Nazareth Academy. So Naz was the 6A champion last year. Justin Turner, their top player, is also playing up at Wisconsin now. They have started off the year 0-4. And they still are stacked with talent. Gabe Kaminsky's there. Their quarterback, Logan Malachuk, has been a starter since his first day as a freshman. They're going against St. Ignatius. So Ignatius got a nice win last week against Marist. So Ignatius, led by Justin Scott, who's going to The Ohio State University, has ground themselves to a 2-2 record. So I think this is big time. I mean, for each of those programs, either Ignatius, gets on the winning ways and finds themselves back in the state playoffs like they were last year and made that semifinal game, or Naz, who actually started out last year, I think 0-3 or 0-4. I think they started out last year 0-4 and then went on a run, made the state playoffs at 5-4, and then won the entire thing at 6A. Just because they got on a run. And Naz just plays just a monster schedule. So their first game was against Kankakee. Kankakee, we talk about the Big Easy at Kankakee, their offensive lineman who's going to Georgia. They played York after that. York has really put themselves together, a good program, an 8A program that's always ranked in the top 5. Then they played Montini Catholic, same school that our friends here at Westinghouse played early in the year. Montini won by I think just by a single point, and then they went against IC Catholic last week. I think that was an overtime game. IC Catholic, remember my trivia question on the tight end, so they've got Eric Carner there. He's the tight end, number 3 recruit in the state, going to Texas A&M, and also a kid, KJ Parker, their running back, who is going to Iowa. So IC Catholic loaded up with a whole bunch of talent, and they took down Naz. So Naz 0-4 going against St. Ignatius tonight. So, we've got 32 seconds left on the halftime clock, but then there's a little bit of stretching that goes on. I got my crack statistician, Brian Barrett, father of 4-star long snapper Ben Barrett, is giving me these stats. Let me take a look at it. So, Whitney Young, we'll start off time of possession, very even. So Young, after 6 minutes on that first drive, got chewed off by the Warriors. Young was actually able to control most of that rest of that first half. 11:23 time of possession, Westinghouse 12:32. First downs even, pretty even. Young with 8, Westinghouse with 7. Total yards, Young at 131, Westinghouse at 116. Rushing game is kicked in for the Dolphins, as we've discussed. So 94 yards on the ground for Whitney Young, 51 yards for Westinghouse. Passing yards, Whitney Young has 47, Westinghouse at 61. So Newman is 3 of 9 for those 47 yards. And Yolich Clayton leading the way. 6 carries, 45 yards, and that touchdown. Yolich with 8 and 44, so really balanced from there. Rankin, 2 catches, 35 yards. Hood, 1 for 10 yards. Brian's giving me, I love this. Westinghouse only 46 yards since that opening drive. So they took that opening drive 70 yards and only 46 yards since then. Whitney Young, 20 of 29 snaps have been in Westinghouse territory. So some of that on some short punts, some of that on some drives that almost immediately got the amazing catch by Rankin. Put them down. So Dolphins, if you are just joining us, I say that far too much. You can put that on the bingo card. If you're just joining us, Dolphins had 3 drives inside the 15-yard line. That first drive sort of went awry on. I think there was a penalty that brought that back. There was, and in each of these things there were opportunities, right? So there were some passes to receivers in the end zone who were open, who just weren't able to corral those. So Whitney Young on 2 of those possessions, one over on downs, the other on a dubious blocked field goal where Westinghouse had a 3-yard jump off the line of scrimmage to get the block. So we came up empty there, and so then the final drive of the half, Whitney Young was able to get on the board. Clayton with a nice run around the right end, right side of that line, anchored down by Jason Perez and Juan Cepeda, paving the way. And Clayton into the end zone for a touchdown, and then the all-important point after, which was good. Whitney Young perfect on the year. Solomon Bradley, 7 for 7, early in the season. Bardsma now 6 for 6 on the year on attempted points. Actually, I want to mention last week, back to you may see things better at home with Remy shooting than what we see here. But last week that was a designed fake on the extra point. And so I thought maybe there was something that was mishandled. Ben Barrett's not gonna snap anything other than right on. I was just thinking about Barrett. Like, he's kind of like the American Assassin with that long snap. You know, remember that movie with Bradley Cooper? And, you know, like Cooper spies that guy like about 2 miles away, and he's got the scope on him and things like that. This is a little bit dark here. But that's Ben Barrett. Like, he's a sniper as a long snapper. So on that play last week, he snapped it back to Conrad, who they said knee was on the ground. My friend Tony McHale is going to check because he thinks there's actually an exception in the rule on fakes that that you don't have to have a knee up on that. Anyway, Conrad completed the pass in the end zone. It was Simon Kudlow who had that 2-point catch, but was overruled by the officials. We weren't so upset with the officials at that point because there was a big lead at the time. We were a little more relaxed, much more relaxed than I am right now.
Looks like we might have clarification on that in real time. There's a discussion going on as to whether or not that was a call as we get underway here for the second half. Got the Dolphins 7, the Warriors 6.
I was working out the logistics for the post-game Gatorades. That was Joseph Gray's dad came up, got my car keys so we can get the Gatorade to the buses after the game. I've got 75 Gatorades in the back of my car. Short kick, corralled. Will the Thrill DeMille, I think, across the 43-yard line. So a nice job getting upfield on that one. So the short kick.
Ball mark at the 42-yard line. First and 10. Dolphin.
Trying to make sure I got the right number on that. I may not have, but anyway.
I think you were correct.
All right, so let me also get us to the third quarter here. Third quarter. Newman at quarterback. Jolich at running back. 2 receivers left, 2 right. And here we go for the second half of Dolphin football. Handoff up the middle. Jolich moving it.
Right back to the run.
Yep, back to the run. Pickup of 2 or 3 on that.
We'll give him 3.
Gain of 2 yards. Second and 8.
We'll give him 3.
We're giving him 3. The public address announcer is giving him 2. I think we were right. So again, Nick Dale at center. Baba Nefasimi Opadele. Marcus Woods on the left side, protecting Newman's blind side. And on the right side, Juan Cepeda and Jason Perez. Receivers have been rotating a little bit, but you got Joseph Gray, number 40, Barry Gordon, number 6, Nasir Rankin, number 1, closest to us, Anthony Hood at the top of the screen. That's Rankin in motion. Handoff to Jolich. He gets upended. Made a nice job. Had a couple guys make some contact in the backfield, but then upended by number 12, Keontae Johnson.
Good yards after contact.
Yeah, 5 yards.
Yep, so third down.
Third and 3.
And 3 yards. Just knocking on Warriors territory here. So the ball at the 51, right, Scott?
There you go.
Ball at the Warriors 51. Oh, that's not going away, my friend.
You're going to make that my Stephen A. opening pitch thing, aren't you?
All right. So Rankin in motion. Newman, the quarterback. Newman with pressure on him. Overthrew. Had pressure in his face, so overthrew Rankin on the right-hand side. Had to get it away right away. Think that the Dolphins are looking to go for this.
Dolphins.
Looking to go for it. This is a big play here. Just started the second half. 10:21 left in the third quarter. 4th down and 3. Newman collecting the play from the sideline from Eddie Boucher.
So what do you think? Do you stick with what got us here, the run game, or another spectacular catch?
Well, there's, again, back to stacking the box. There's a lot of guys in there for the Warriors. They're coming with, and Newman got him on the hard count. Yeah, he's fired up. You don't often see a whole lot of emotion from Bennett Newman, but he hammered him with the hard count.
Excellent, excellent.
So that's the way to do it. Pick it up.
He knew they were coming.
Encroachment.
Yep, they were ready. So the Warriors play a 3-4 defense, but I think they had all 7 guys who were ready to rush in on Newman.
I think they had 3 or 4 guys who were offside.
And you know what? I mean, I'm sure in that huddle, Newman is like, do not move. All right, so first down at the 44-yard line. Newman quarterback, Jolich behind him. Newman pulls it. He's looking deep. He's going deep to Anthony Hood. And Hood, I believe, is going to draw a pass interference call on the Warriors' defensive back. So I think that's why I think Hood would have been in the vicinity of that ball, but I think he got held as that ball was in the air. So pass interference call.
Actually, I think he called holding.
Yeah. Which would make a lot of sense of where it was and where the ball ended up and where it was. So I got to tell you, I really like this officiating crew. They are dialed in. These guys know what they're doing out there. Far be it from a hack like me to question what they're doing. So 1st and 10. Dolphins pick up 2 consecutive first downs on penalties. Warriors, Jolich with the carry, fighting up the middle. I think for 3 or 4.
He had a good 3 yards before anyone even touched him.
Yep, and so that's where, you talk about letting your big guys eat. So even though the Warriors are throwing everything they've got into the middle of that line, and we've seen some nice plays. We've seen number 53, Devarian Stevenson, make some nice plays from his line position there.
I'm a little concerned about Stevenson. He is favoring his left arm.
Well, we saw him, get ushered off the field earlier in the game, but he's made some plays since then. So 2nd down and 6. Now Westinghouse just bringing everybody up front. Handoff. Jolich is going to have some room if he can get out there. There's going to be a hold. So Jolich is going to score, but there's going to be a flag that came down from the official.
Illegal block in the back.
Yeah, so there's something to be said over there with the Warriors just bringing everybody up to that line of scrimmage. That's a play where, there's a penalty on it, but if they're going to keep doing that, the Dolphins seem to have some things figured out.
If we can get to the second level, there is no second level of defense.
That's right, and that's exactly what it was. Exactly what it was. So get those guys to line it up on the front end. Jolich checking out after that long run, but called back. So it's going to be the call was a hold downfield, right? So that it's only going to back it up 1 yard because it was 10 yards downfield. So 2nd and 11. Clayton checking in at running back. Newman the quarterback. He's got 3 receivers to his left. Hood to the right. Blitz on him. He's got Clayton on a middle screen. Clayton across the 20. He's got nobody else out there. Bam, bam, bam.
He had nothing but fresh air and green turf.
So, all right, you talk about all the
flag on the play. Wow.
Unbelievable. So a flag on the play.
Still
I mean, just deflating right now. Deflating. And again, we don't have the benefit of instant replay here. That play, what I was going to say is that and it's tough because the Dolphin coaches keep dialing up these plays that are working. So they're showing all of this stuff, and the guys in the stripes keep taking the points off the board. So that's 2 straight touchdowns, a long run by Jolich, now a perfectly executed screen pass to Clayton. And again, not saying maybe there's a hold somewhere there. Clayton didn't have anybody within 30 yards of him and heading in for the touchdown. So
I'm a little confused.
Yeah, so
why is the ball on the 30?
It was a hold downfield somewhere, right? So they marched it back 10 yards from there. Newman fires it to Anthony Hood. And now, how about that? You like that? You like that? So I think there was some frustration there by all of the Dolphins. Newman fired a rocket into Hood, who kept his feet.
We had a Dolphin lose his hat.
That was Juan Cepeda. Anthony Hood with his 21st touchdown as a Whitney Young Dolphin. So this is where got to keep it on the gas. Important, again, talk about these extra points. Important right here. Could put the Dolphins up. Snap, hold, good. Kick. Good.
The kick is good. Whitney Young.
Got these Warriors on their heels now.
So still within a touchdown and 2-point conversion for Westinghouse, but the Dolphins needed to score 3 straight times there to get themselves on the board.
You know, I think it just speaks to how resilient these young people are, as Coach Finger would say. They maintain their focus. They don't seem to be overly affected by the officiating of the game, and it's unfortunate that they're playing the Warriors and the Stripes.
So that was a heck of a set. I'm sorry if I blew out anybody's eardrums at home. I'm hanging on by a thread here, Scott. We're gonna need some intervention, I think. It's
small price to pay.
This is an important game. I mean, if I've said it a few times, but this is big time for many, many different reasons. I'm going to give you a quick line here. Eddie Boucher was talking about the first 4 weeks of the year, and Coach Eddie said the first 4 weeks of the year is like we had a shot and a chaser. The shot was hope. The chaser was perspectives. The shot was Morgan Park. The chaser was Curie. And so now we're into the meat of the schedule where every game is one that is winnable for us, but is going to take everything we've got. Bardsma teeing up.
Excellent.
Hammers kick. A kick.
Back to the 5.
Yep, Warriors take it at the 5. It's a good pursuit, but now he's got a lane. Nice job on the outside. We'll have to see who that was. That was an excellent job on a play that looked like it was going to go the distance. I think it was Javon Hobbs. So Javon Hobbs with a touchdown-saving tackle. And you know, Coach Finger talked about it. I mean, there are a ton of really, really great athletes on this Westinghouse team. So on that one, we almost outkicked the coverage, right?
Yeah, but again, good discipline. Everybody did their job. There were some excellent blocks on the part of Westinghouse.
Yeah, absolutely. Great blocks. That sprung, and I'm sorry, I missed the Westinghouse returner, but we know who's at quarterback. That's this guy, a bully. He's got 3 receivers to his right. Running back next to him. He gives it to that running back, and that running back still on his feet. There's Javon Hobbs again with the tackle on Williams.
That's a Warriors. First down.
So Troy Williams had some guys there, but Jason Perez got a hand on him, but he was kind of blocked inside, and then Hobbs working from that cornerback position. I think it was Hobbs. Pretty sure it was Hobbs. It's either Hobbs or Maxwell Warner, but I think it was Hobbs on the tackle.
It was. That slot receiver is sliding in and crashing down.
Yep, setting the edge. So first down. There's the handoff again to Williams. There's a really nice pursuit. So that was Yolich.
That should be a TFL.
Yolich and Barry Gordon off of that edge to start with. And so either a no gain or very little gain. So no gain. Warriors are at the Dolphin 39-yard line. So big kick return and then a first down run by Williams. Has the Warriors at the 39. Bully, the quarterback, pulls it, gets to the outside. Nice blocks by him. Good pursuit by Clayton, and I think Clayton's going to get a hit out of bounds. So Clayton and Duhan were over there and hit Bully right at the boundary marker, and then the laundry came out. And I think that there are some Dolphin fans in attendance here who are feeling a little bit like me. That's tough. That was a bang play right on the edge. So Bully faked the handoff and then took himself, got to the edge, and had picked up the first down. And then they're going to march it all the way down to the Dolphin 15-yard line. So the Warriors just responding immediately. 7:14 left here in the third quarter.
I'm a little speechless, and I'm going to leave it at that.
So Bully back to pass. He's looking for a receiver, and he's got the receiver for a touchdown.
The defender never saw the ball.
Nope. We got a running off the edge, and whoever was in coverage over there for the Dolphins wasn't able to get his head around, and Bully rifled one in. So right back to it. The Warriors, this is going to be a game, ladies and gentlemen. And now the special teams come into play. They're going to go for 2, I'm sure, here to try to tie the score up. Warriors going with 3 receivers to Bully's left, also a running back to his left. I think the Dolphins look a little out of sorts where they are defensively. Bully's going to look back across the middle. Now he's looking to run. Now he's looking to a wide-open receiver. So Lanarius Prophet. Lanarius Prophet with the 2-point, and we got a tie game. I'm going to have to conserve my energy here.
Coach Finger is less than pleased with his secondary.
Yeah, so you could tell right off the bat there were some guys that I'm not sure everybody knew exactly the type of coverage. But this is going to be a game. Back to the resilience. I mean, resilience is going to be something that we can't just be resilient to score a touchdown in the first drive of the third quarter, score it 3 times. We're going to have it throughout the course of the game. This game is tied up 14-14. 7:08 left in the third quarter.
As the official training partner of the Chicago Public League. For more information, please visit atipt.com.
They're lining up bunched. I would not be surprised if they went with an onside kick.
Yeah, I think it's the momentum game, right? And they know, although they have countered, right? They've countered with stacking the box, and the Dolphins have countered with a bunch of different offensive type plays. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised on a fake here. But they kick it away. I think that's DeMille again at the 30 to the 35. And his knee goes down there. So the kick is not going deep. But DeMille does what he needs to do and gets the ball upfield and brings it over to the Dolphins, where the Dolphins now need to counter what they're seeing from Askaya Bully. And actually, at that time it was more of the Troy Williams show on the ground. And Askaya using his legs, and then the pass for the touchdown and the pass for the 2-point conversion. So Newman at quarterback, Clayton running back, trips to the left, Rankin in motion now to the right. Warriors with 8 guys in the box. Newman looking, rolling out, almost. So he was trying to go deep, I think, initially to Anthony Hood. Then he was trying to get it, I think, secondary target there was Nasir Rankin. And it was nicely defended by, I think it was a Linares Prophet who had that 2-point catch. I think he was over there on the coverage as well.
You know, it's really hard to fathom that with all those guys in the box that at least one receiver is not open.
Yeah, and the offensive line did a nice job there, right? And again, it's back to, like, we see them in the box. They are dropping out, right? And so this is where, you know, Westinghouse presents a bit of a challenge. They don't give you the same look every single time up. So there's a handoff. Clayton got himself a nice hole, upended across the 40-yard line. So Clayton took a low hit across the thighs there, but still he back up at it.
He took that hit, but with the size of his thighs, I think the defender took the brunt of that.
The quad father delivered a blow to number 11, Calvin Travis.
And Travis got up kind of slowly.
So a nice gainer there, about 6.5 yards. Going to bring up 3rd down. So Gray, Rankin to the left, Gordon and Hood to the right. Newman looked at the hard count again. Warriors didn't jump on that one. Handoff to Clayton.
He got faced.
Yeah.
He got poked in the eye.
Yeah, looked like there was a high tackle there. Clayton picked up a few.
Gain of 1 yard.
Gain of 1.5 yards, so it's going to bring up 4th and 2. 4th and 2. Dolphins are going for it. I'm sure that the herd count will Newman, I will see if he pulls that out of his bag of tricks again. The nice thing about it is it does maybe give you an extra split second even when you go, just because the Warriors really have to wait for that ball. So they've got everybody lined up. They've got basically a cover 0 situation. Everybody up. Newman trying to looking at his receivers. Now the snap and the catch to Rankin, and he's off to the races. He stiff arms a guy off to the races, and I'm looking for flags, and I don't see any, and I want to celebrate because it's a long touchdown on a 4th and 2. Newman to Rankin. Rankin kept his feet for a touchdown. We've got ourselves a heavyweight battle.
Excellent execution. Great call.
Touchdown scored by Dolphins, number 1, Nasir Rankin.
All right, so we put it back on the board. Ben Barrett, 4-star long snapper. Vaughn Conrad, I'm going to give him a 4-star holder. Miles Bardsma. And again, so good God, at least they called it this time. I mean, Westinghouse is, whatever. Take what you can. I think we're just going to put those points on the board. It was blown. It was a referee whistle went off. I wonder if okay.
We're going
so we're going to go
2.
for 2 because they're going to give us. There's going to be a yard added to the end of the run, and the Dolphins are going to line up for a 2-point try with their offense on the field.
Penalty called against the Warriors. Replay, extra point.
So Newman, the quarterback. Newman in the shotgun with Clayton next to him. Newman rolls to his right. Now he's throwing back to the left.
Flag on the play.
And there's a flag on the play.
Conversion is no good.
Holding on the Dolphins.
So holding on the Dolphins. They were trying to, it was a play that worked last year for a 2-point conversion where they rolled to the right, and then on that one, Alex Dale was all on his own to the left last year. There they had Hood, who was open over there, but there was both a holding on the play and then also a big paw that got up in there. So Dolphins do score on the long pass from Newman to Rankin. So they go up 20-14. 4:56 left here in the third quarter. I'm entertained. Are you entertained?
I don't know if I'll call it entertained.
It's a sort of a mix between entertainment and annoyance.
Yes, yes. I was going to go with frustration, but I like annoyance better.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like sort of deja vu on that game from last year against Westinghouse, and it's what you get when you have a quarterback like a Sky, a bully. Like you think you have yourself a little bit of a window, a little bit of breathing room, and then he just answers. And I mean, Westinghouse again is like they're showing some talent from the wide receiver, the running back position. So it's a chess match of these coaching staffs, well coached. I mean, that's the one thing Coach Finger mentioned in the open as well. Extremely well coached team, extremely well matched team. So that's what makes this game fun.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a veiled olive branch to the officials too. I mean, they are not professionals, and
so I think we're going to be offsides here. They are getting paid by the flag tonight. So somehow they catch the Dolphins offsides on a special teams play.
And there's a ball in the end zone.
Yeah, well, that's one of our kicking balls that was back there. So I actually like what we'll see if Bardsma can do that again. So he hit that line shot down the left-hand side of the field, trying to at least, and he wants that ball back. They're trying to get the kicking ball back out to him. So if you know anything about footballs, the whole Tom Brady thing, the deflate gate kind of brought that into focus. So different balls, the kicking ball tends to be a little bit softer. So they got that one back for Bardsma. He's got it teed up at the 35 after the 5-yard penalty. Ready to kick it away. Kick goes deep to a Westinghouse guy who's kind of strolling around back there. Not quite sure what that was all about.
Don't know.
So that was number 4, Lavelle Winfield Jr. And he did not take off running. I don't know. I don't know if he was waiting for some sort of blocking setup to happen, but anyway, where the last kickoff was brought all the way out close to Dolphins territory, this is going to back up the Warriors to the 22-yard line.
This is one of the oddest games I've witnessed.
Yeah, I think I'm just like the last year's game was odd. We had a clock that went out and we played 5 quarters. Nick Dale, Marcius Woods, and Harrison Gassa on the line. Aaron Champion again in that side. A little flip out to the side. They've got an edge, but Clayton did a really nice job fighting off his block. Their ball is on the ground. Ball is on the ground, and Dolphins.
Let's wait.
Yeah, well, we got to wait.
We have to wait.
Yeah. But it looks like Clayton made the hit, and Clayton may have come up with that fumble as well. I think JoJo did a really nice job of setting the edge, coming off of his block, and then making contact with the Warriors running back. Ball went on the turf, and the Dolphins collected it. Ball inside the 20-yard line.
You know, the Dolphins have this sticker drive, and while I'm definitely proud to see Clayton succeed, I just came to the realization that each one of those plays is costing me money.
Yeah, hitting you in the pocketbook. That's I'm sure you don't mind that. So Newman, Yolich, that ball was batted again at the line of scrimmage, I think by number 7-3. So Hood, he was trying to go out the Hood, and number 73, Raul Espino, 6'3", 240, got all that 6'3" up in Newman's face and took away what would have been a nice gainer there. So second down, 4:32 left here in the third quarter. Ball at the 19-yard line. Warriors 19. Newman, quarterback, Yolich in the game with him. Receivers right now, Barry Gordon, Nasir Rankin, Joseph Gray. Handoff to Yolich, trying to find a spot. Keeps the legs going. Offensive line getting the push going. So Yolich, pickup of 3 on that second down play.
Gain of 3 yards. 3rd and 7.
So I wasn't watching in warm-ups to know where the confidence level is for Bardsma on a field goal. Could be something that they consider, though. I mean, Bardsma definitely has had the leg. They've got the operation to make that stuff happen. But let's see if we can convert a 3rd down here. So receivers to the left, Gray and Gordon. To the right, Rankin and Hood. Yolich in the backfield. Newman keeping Rankin over on that side now, getting Rankin in motion. So pass goes incomplete, although
like
there was a whistle was blown pretty early. I don't know what, not quite sure what happened there. So they were trying to fake the inside shovel to Rankin and try to get Hood on a quick pass. Newman overshot him on that side. Does look like they are thinking about the field goal unit here as the Westinghouse player gets attended to on the sideline.
Is that Bully or no?
Well, Bully is. I have some binoculars here. Bully is the corner over that who has been following Hood around. So the player is up. I don't think it was, although I might have just lost. I think I lost track of who they were attending to. So
I don't know who they were attending to. Bully came off. I don't know if the defensive lineman was the injured player, which would mean that he had to go off.
All right, so
4th and 7.
Dolphins are going to go for it here on 4th and 7. They've converted a 4th down for a touchdown earlier in this game on a pass to Rankin. Rankin and Hood are to Newman's left. Newman was trying for the hard count, but I think he got the Dolphins that jumped offsides instead. So the middle of the offensive line jumped. So now makes it a little more challenging outside the 20. So they've got to get the ball inside the 10-yard line. So I think you're right. It was Bully, but now he is. Well, is he back in? There was a D-line that came back in. So I actually don't see a Bully right now.
Bully is back in. He's on the far.
So Hood and Rankin to the left. Clayton in the backfield with Newman. See if the line can give them some time. Hood, I think that pass got tipped as well. So really the Warriors are getting their hands up because Hood was open on that play again and wasn't able to connect on the tipped ball. So 2:30 left. Westinghouse also has the drone for their huddle. I'm guessing that's their huddle cam. We had that at Hope, so a drone kind of floating overhead for us here. Westinghouse takes over at the 21-yard line. Handoff up the middle. Nice tackle. Penetration by, I think, Yolich over there. Yep, so Yolich moving up to that linebacker position after the first couple games of the year and shot the gap and made a nice tackle on the Warriors running back. Warriors again, staying. They don't huddle. They're just they're going to go back to it. Bully back to it, trying to grind some runs. Bully now with the pass. He's pressured and sacked.
No laundry on the field, and that looks like a loss of roughly.
Was that Harrison Gassa? I think it was.
That was.
I think it was Harrison again. And I'll tell you what got me, I saw the drone go up in the air, and I thought it was a flag. And I was like, oh my God, we had a play earlier in this game where Harrison Gassa had an excellent sack, and somehow a flag came out. Dolphins changing up defensive personnel. Aaron Champion ran off. Now he's running back on. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. So I think we're good. Champion got to take that end. He's got Harrison Gassa with a run. There's an interception. And dropped. So
he jumped the route.
Yep. Javon Hobbs jumped the route. Exactly what you want to do. Had the ball, kind of let it get into his body too much, and was looking at that end zone. Javon Hobbs is like, hey, man, that's my pick 6. Got to put it away. So, again, that nice job by Harrison coming off that left edge. He actually got cut to start with, but got back up so quickly that he forced Bully to sort of loft that ball.
The other thing that he did not rush immediately. He held containment.
Yep, and that's what you got to do, holding Bully in that pocket. So Warriors going to punt from their end zone, Rankin back deep. There's a punt blocked. So that's what we saw very early season stuff, and it was either blocked or just all he could do was get it out, was to kind of squib it off to the side. So Dolphins are going to take over at the Warrior 36, 37-yard line.
For all the excitement of the first half, this quarter has gone at a snail's pace.
Well, a lot of some incomplete passes, which always slow some things down a little bit. I don't know. I'm still having fun. Dolphins on top, 20-14.
I'd say time of possession has definitely tipped in the Dolphins' favor.
That it has. So we'll see if we can get some of these explosive plays with the fully loaded box. Little flip over to Clayton on the short side of the field. He does a nice job navigating, keeps his feet going. Really, really nice play.
Who's that down?
I think it might be Barry Gordon on the So Barry Gordon on the backside of that play.
Timeout on the field.
So trainer Sam will take a look over there. We'll
Hurting his
see.
calf. I think he's cramping up.
Yep, that would. That's my hope. I see the Gatorade bottle out immediately, and it looks like they're going to get Barry some hydration. So much better than anything else. Get some hot sauce. Where's the hot sauce? Get it out there.
Need the hot sauce. So nice run by Clayton on that last play.
Yeah, really nice job. And so, again, I think Boucher and Coach Finger, I mean, they're probing the pages of the playbook tonight, right? We've seen some of those runs up the middle. So the Warriors have countered by loading up the box. You've seen some really nice passes. Newman delivered touchdown pass to Rankin, touchdown pass to Hood. The last possession, they had guys open in those positions, but with the Warriors, with 7, 8 guys in the box, with guys that are 6'3", are getting their hands up. And so Newman had, three passes tipped on that last possession, and including that the 2-point possession from the time before. So that's one of the things that's been working for the Warriors defense, because it seems like, again, that's the thing about these games. And I think back to last year's game, every time you think that you can take a breath and you might have yourself a little bit of cushion, Westinghouse just gets back into it defensively, or gets back into it on the offensive side of things with Askaya Bully.
Good sign that he was able to walk off on his own. I think he's still trying to work that cramp out.
Yeah, so I'll call this play. It's second and short after that first down run by Clayton. Clayton, again, nice vision back there.
Flag on the
It's
play.
going to be a flag and maybe a hold. So Brian heard what you were talking about. So after the first 3 possessions were 3 touchdown drives of 50-plus yards that started the second half. The last 3 drives were a -3, a -2, and -9 yards. And right now, this one is in negative territory as well after that holding penalty. So it's going to be 2nd and 13 from the Warriors' 40-yard line.
There's also a timeout on the field.
Timeout taken by, there's an injury timeout over here on the side. So that's number 2, Matthew Sims Jr., getting looked at by the Westinghouse training staff. We'll take a moment to thank our sponsors, Sorelli Finer Foods. Team gets some pregame and postgame Sorelli sandwiches. Sorelli's over on the west side of Chicago. If you're ever in the market for catering an event, amazing Italian beef and the whole smorgasbord. So dial up Aunt Patty Sorelli over at Sorelli's. I think that with the clock running, the Dolphins are going to say, let's take this thing to the 4th quarter. Clock is going to run. Maybe they aren't. I don't know. They started coming off the sideline. Could you not? Well, I guess the ball's not put in play right now. So it's kind of interesting. The referees started walking away as well because the Dolphins came over to the sideline. This crew.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it.
I mean, do your job, guys. Your job is not to walk off. Your job is to stay on the ball with the ball marked ready to go. So that's, and again, I don't think the Dolphins, they definitely had in mind that they were going to think about running a play, but the officials with the clock running were already walking with it back the other way. let's just say we're not in danger of losing this crew to a higher level.
And hopefully this will be enough to keep them from operating in the postseason.
All right, so let me get you some names. Nick Dale, center. Harrison Gossa out there, so he's in that in the H-back position. Clayton at running back. Newman at quarterback. He's got 2 receivers right, 2 left. Second and long. Here's going to be a trick play. Newman or Hood to a wide open Nasir Rankin for a touchdown. So Clayton, that was a play that they've talked about all week. So Clayton on a reverse to Hood. Hood delivered a strike to Nasir Rankin down the field, who had dropped all the defenders.
You mentioned Coach Boucher and Coach Finger reaching deep into the playbook. That's evidence of it right there.
You got to win in all phases. Right now, coaching staff of Whitney Young is helping the Dolphins lead 26-14. Warriors are definitely they don't have a deep squad. You can tell that they are gassed right now. Then oh my God, are they just not going to? Finally, the guy calls it over there. Kick is good again. I mean,
take the points.
Yes, absolutely. Take the points. Take the points, Coach Finger. Oh, I'm watching him. I think all his offensive side of the ball was just like, hey, I mean, I guess they call it a dead ball foul on the offsides. So they've got to kick it again because I guess they're saying maybe encroachment. So they blew the play dead, but it's it's kind of ridiculous. And here, I don't know, whatever. You can go on 2. I think you should go on 2. And there's the snap and the kick. And the kick is
good. A
line shot, but good. Bardsma for the extra point.
Whitney Young leads 27 to 14.
27-14, that's a 13-point lead. If you want to go deja vu, that was a lead that the Dolphins had into the fourth quarter of last year's game at 13-0. So I'm just saying that to remind myself, I know Coach Finger's not listening to me, nor would he ever listen to me, but we still have a quarter of football, an extremely important quarter of football for right now the 2-2 Whitney Young Dolphins. Westinghouse also at 2-2. The important wins for the Dolphins right now, these Chicago Public League wins, they are gold, right? So you got a win over Curie last week. It's still kind of interesting on the win over Perspectives because technically that they're a red division team, but it was a non-conference team game that was scheduled before the realignment. So kind of interesting. Coach Finger thinks it's going to be counted as a Chicago Public League win. So that would put us 2-1 right now in the red division. Westinghouse at 1-1 right now with the loss to Amundsen and a win earlier, and I don't recall who it was. So kick is away, fielded and dropped at the 10, so make him pay on that. Champion over pursued a bit, but the rest of the Dolphins were able to make the cleanup on aisle 24. Cleanup on aisle 24, where the Warriors will start with the ball. So,
ball mark from the 24-yard line.
I will say there's not the same energy on the Warrior side. The Dolphins seem to have found a second wind.
Yeah, well, it helps when you're ahead on the scoreboard, but it is. It's there are not a lot of guys, and again, we have all of our JV guys on the sideline too. But they were definitely winded after that last drive. Bully won't get winded, though. Quarterback trips to his left. He shovels it over. Ball's on the ground. The Westinghouse running back was able to get it. I think they're going to blow it. Oh, he never controlled it. So it's going to go back over to the Dolphins. No. So here, the referee that's been over next to Coach Carter and has made some of those calls, who made the 58-yard call. I don't know. I thought he was going to overrule it. I thought he was coming in.
22-yard line, 1st and 10, Dolphins.
Dolphin first down.
All right, well, good. I have to deeply breathe.
A lot of confusion there, but
Yep.
he never possessed it.
Yeah, so he was down on the ground. So Hood is now checking in at the Wildcat position. I'm sure that Coach Finger wants to get this clock moving. So Hood rolling to his left, pursued well, and a holding call.
Flag on the plate.
Nick Dale was engaged all the way down the field, pancaked his guy, number 91, who I don't have on a roster, and then the guy shoved him, and Nick looked over at the referee like, hey, come on, man. Nick is like the nicest guy on the team. Probably I'm sure that Nick Dale is I'm going to go global population here. Nick Dale is in the top 0.1% of nicest human beings on this planet. Number 91 doesn't think that way right now, but anyway, that holding call backs it up
when you get
10 yards.
Pancaked by a teddy bear. I mean,
that's right.
It could hurt the ego a little bit.
Yep. So 1st and 20. Newman checked back in at quarterback. I think that's Yolich next to him. 3 receivers right, Hood to his left. Newman drops the ball now. So Newman fumbled the snap and was hammered down
and
immediately.
Once again, Alex Dale pancaked number 91.
Nick Dale.
Yep.
So Newman didn't handle that snap cleanly. So Dolphins marching themselves backwards here after that recovery.
Wind the clock. They finally did.
Now Coach O.D. looking at it. Okay, let's play for another score here, guys. Let's stop watching the clock and let's do what we've been doing right now. So ball at the 41-yard line. Hood and Rankin receivers to the left. Gassa and Gray to the right for Newman. Yolich in the backfield. Harrison now in motion. Handoff to Yolich. Nice job on the outside. There's another flag that's coming down. I think the Dolphins are going to end up in Warriors territory on flags. So 3 straight.
Holding. Offense.
So 3 penalties and a drop snap here has the Dolphins marching backwards. 10:07 left here in the game. Dolphins with the 27-14 lead. Got to tighten it up a little bit here, guys. Come on now. Tighten up on what we're doing offensively. Ball at the 46-yard line.
Replay, 2nd down.
So they've got to get to they got to get all the way to the 12-yard line for a 1st down. So in this, maybe they get a little conservative here and just get back to running a few plays, get that clock moving. So Yolich next to Newman in the backfield. 2nd and a long way to go. So Newman looking over. He's looking deep. He's going to get sacked. Sacked by number 11, Calvin Travis. So I thought he was maybe going to check it down to Yolich on the side.
Number 11 of the Warriors, Calvin.
Yeah, that screen was open.
And so Travis just came around the outside, and Newman's internal clock thought it had an extra second on it. So now we are in Warriors territory. So 3rd down. This is something I think you just want to run. So clock rolling under 9 minutes. 3 receivers to Newman's left. Hood on his own to the right. Single coverage by Bully. There's Rankin, Yolich in the backfield. A little traffic of our own accord. So it didn't get much going there.
4th and long.
So
Dolphins.
clock running, 8:30 left.
Let's get a good punt here, pin them deep.
Yep, so Miles Bardsman has done a nice job. Westinghouse looks like Lavelle Winfield Jr. is back deep to receive the punt. He is at the 25. Bardsma end-over-end kick is going to take a nice I thought it was going to take a nice roll just the way it was working out, but it does the job. So Miles Bardsma gets the punt inside the 30, inside the Warriors 30. Exactly 8 minutes left in this game. I think the Dolphins, we talked about the juice, so you got to get the juice back in the legs, got to get the focus dialed back in. Nick Dale, Babanefasimi Opedele, Harrison Gossa. Harrison Gossa just played a whale of a game from his DN spot. Aaron Champion checked in at that jack position. Jason Perez, Yolich, Clayton, the linebackers, Hood, Duhan as the safeties. So Bully looking deep, and
that was a miscommunication.
He and Arshawn AJ Powell, who Powell has a touchdown catch earlier in this game, were not on the same page, but the coverage by Maxwell Warner was also very good.
Yeah, I think Powell just acknowledged that he was the one who made the mistake.
So yeah, as you know, they're just signaling in place from the sideline, as the Warriors are always playing at tempo, at hurry up, but now trailing 13 with 7:45 left. They're going to try to get as many plays as they can in here. Bully, all-state quarterback for Westinghouse, keeps it. Really nice job over on the side, Joseph Clayton. Clayton set the edge and made the tackle. So Clayton, a guy who has been a contributing linebacker all 4 of his years, a leading tackler last year on the squad, and is just piling up a bunch of defensive numbers again. 3rd and long, 3rd and about 13. Bully back to pass, pressured by Gossa up the middle, and that ball's picked by Nasir Rankin. Harrison Gossa is going to get a flag, I think, late for maybe a engagement with Bully. But that was, again, where the way this defense was drawn up this week is that Clayton is spying Bully. So Clayton from his linebacker position is watching where Askaya Bully is. And then Rankin is playing a deep sort of a center field safety position, and they thought they could get some of those plays right there. They thought that they could get some pressure on Bully. He likes to throw deep. I mean, his eyes are always downfield. He's a great quarterback, but they thought they might be able to get some of those long passes with Rankin playing in that position with his speed and athleticism. And we've seen a couple shoulda, coulda interceptions, but that one, Nasir Rankin corrals for the Dolphins. Again, on the end of the play, there was an unsportsmanlike call. I gotta imagine, I mean, it's chippy up here, Scott. Gotta imagine it's chippy down on the field.
Just a little bit. And, you just gave a compliment to Harrison and Gossa, but I don't know that I didn't see what happened, but my guess is that they were engaged, and it's sometimes you just don't hear the whistle.
Yep, exactly. So one thing that is a little messed up here with the sticks, I think they got I'm actually a little worried here. I'm a lot worried here because I think I think maybe, Newman's out there. So I was worried that they were going to call that as a penalty during the play, and they were going to give the ball back. But
no. He signaled first down.
Yeah. Okay, so now I got it. I was messed up on the sticks. You guys are doing your job. Nate Diaz, Jack Wildermuth, and Brian Miller, you're doing your jobs over there. I'm not. I forgot which way we were going. So ball right at the 50. Gossa in motion, tight. Newman on his own. Oh, there is. Joseph Clayton was hiding back there, which he's prone to do, and Joseph Clayton is off to the races. 50-yard touchdown run, Joseph Clayton. And a flag.
Oh, no.
So. Oh, actually, no, it's a face mask on Westinghouse. Anthony Hood just said face mask on Westinghouse, so I don't know if it was an offsetting or not. But the official just showed face mask and motioned toward Westinghouse, but oh my!
This
goodness.
crew is.
Face
I'm
mask
just gonna say
called
it.
on the offense. 15-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Yeah, this I okay. 6:33 left in the game.
It's tough to make me speechless. But I mean I just at some point they're not this many penalties. I mean just every single play, and especially touchdown plays. That's the fourth, I think third or fourth touchdown that's been called back. So Westinghouse. So Yolich keeping his feet
still
going.
on his feet.
Exactly.
Nice.
Did a really nice job fighting for yardage there after getting hit close to the line of scrimmage. So Yolich gets a positive gain, about 5 yards on that play. Ball is at the 43 of the Warriors.
Second and long. Dolphins.
So we're going to have Brian give me. I've lost track. I've come unmoored here. I mean, a lot of turnovers for Westinghouse. A lot of penalties on the Dolphins. Dolphins up 27-14. 5:50 left here in the game. Newman at quarterback. Yolich, the running back. Newman looking. He's got Hood. Hood with a nice catch across the 50 to the 47-yard line.
No, it's the 53 in this game.
And the 53. So that gives the Dolphins a third and manageable. So they're at the 47.
We'll take it.
With that pitch and catch from Newman to Hood. So that was something that's been open, that has been swatted down by that defensive line of Westinghouse. Some of the guys out there, number 73, Raul Espino, who we've talked about before. So 3rd and 7. Hood on his own to the right, 3 receivers left. Newman looking now, just overthrew. I don't know. Harrison didn't seem like he got his hands up. Newman got lit up on the play, and maybe a little bit like that earlier play where there wasn't enough time for it to develop, but it looked like the pass was there. But anyway. Brings on Miles Bardsma, who's done a real nice job tonight. 4th and 7, so punting from his 40. Snap from Barrett. Kick hits at the 13 and is going to roll dead. You got to stop your body. And they're marking it at the 1-yard line. I think that was Aaron Champion I think Champion down there. Downing it. Great punt by Miles Bardsma.
Great punt, great coverage.
Yep. So that was one. I mean, he was too far out for the lob wedge. I mean, that was a nice. I mean, he hit that 8-iron and checked it up. Bardsma with the 8-iron to the 1-yard line.
A little backspin on it.
Nice job by the Dolphins in downing that, not going into the end zone. So this gives Bully 99 yards in front of them. They went a little bit more back to the pass that last possession. They have been trying to pound the run. They were trying to pound the hard snap there, but the Dolphins stuck to it.
We had a safety last week. Let's see if we can get a repeat.
Yeah, we'll see if there's a open receiver on this side. Nice job, Javon Hobbs and Clayton with the tackle.
A little violence.
There was some violence in a good way. So that was over to Troy Williams, number 3. They might be calling if there's a penalty in the end zone, if it's a hold in the end zone, it would be a safety. But I don't know what's going on. I mean,
there's no telling with this crew. They might be talking about what they're going to have for dinner.
So there's a hold. I think the coach Finger is saying, how about the safety? If it was in the end zone, it would be a safety. I think somehow this crew is going to make sure that it wasn't in the end zone. And there's a conversation going on. Coach Finger's like, whoa.
Educate him, Coach. Educate him.
So if it's a holding on an offensive lineman on a passing play, how could he have possibly been?
Pass is incomplete.
He declined the penalty.
Okay, so it was an incomplete pass. I thought he completed it to the running back out here. Maybe he didn't get control of it. Maybe Williams wasn't able to corral it, because I thought it was. It was a nice tackle on the backside by Hobbs and Clayton. There was a hold that was declined because somehow it wasn't in the end zone, even though it was a pass play, and
Warriors.
so the lineman wouldn't be downfield. Oh, whatever. Oh, golly. Oh,
Correction.
golly.
Replay first down.
No, it's not a replay first down. It's second down. There's the rush from Champion on the outside, and Bully, all he could do was get it away,
Warriors.
running for his life in the backside of the end zone. So really nice job by Aaron Champion. Champion got a lot of time earlier in the year filling in Tyson Hayes' spot. So he has played a nice game in the junior, 5'10", 180, Aaron Champion.
Dolphins pinned their fins back.
Yep, the fins were pinned. So Duhan playing that safety spot next to Hood. Duhan still working his way back with a hamstring injury. I talked to him a few times this week. He's cautiously optimistic about it. So, it's still marked as second down, which I don't know. There's an interception down the middle by Duhan.
And
Duhan fighting all the way in for a touchdown.
He carried that defender into the end zone.
Akron Gravel going to the house. Hammy looked fine on that one.
The Duhan clan is in front of us.
Nicely done. I mean, that's so again. That's I'm gonna definitely Quinn Duhan on taking that home. I mean, he carried that whole pile from about the 10. About the 10.
He just wanted it more.
Quinn Duhan, all 5'8", 170, carried. Snap, hold, kick.
Good.
34-14. Been a little bit of a turnover fest here. Quinn Duhan out there congratulating everybody, giving them a good tap on the head. Quinn read that from Bully, took it to the house. 34-14, 3:43 left.
I think we can breathe.
I'm still not going to breathe. I mean,
a lot of smiling Duhans in front of us. So, Dolphins 34, officials and Warriors 14.
Yeah, we got a 20-point lead over the two teams we're playing here.
Someone just went down on the Dolphins sideline.
All right, hopefully we'll check in on that. Oh, I think it's okay. So no camera on that. Remy. All right. So we're gonna have a kickoff here shortly. Again, Whitney Young leading 34-14. Ball fielded at the 20. Converged on. You got to be gap sure here, guys. You cannot give up that outside lane like that. Eventually recovered nicely. Tackled by Miles Bardsma. So, big score by Duhan. We're just everything's gonna be fine on the sideline here. We're just we've got a Dolphin player down that has a medical condition, and his family is out there. So, I think I think we will be fine. We'll just we'll keep an eye on them while we're also keeping an eye on the game. So I think that we're actually the officials are gonna take a break here as we're checking out things on the sideline. So I think we're gonna get the rest of our guys hydrated.
Timeout on the field.
And
Dad's posture is comforting me. So
yeah, yep. I mean, this is
looks like things are under control. But definitely want to operate out of an abundance of caution.
yeah, without a doubt. So I was going to say if you're just tuning in, but my God, if you've been with us all night, we thank you deeply. We maybe apologize for our our mix of excitement and
disgust.
There's definitely anxiety, and it's been tough. I mean, again, I'm sure that it'll be interesting to talk to the Dolphin coaches after this because, yeah, I mean, penalties do occur during games, and there are a lot of things that that are bang bang. And this is you think about the NFL officials and the number of times they actually get things right in a game that moves very fast, in a game that has a lot of guys engaged with each other in, as Coach Finger says, in violent situations. And when you have that going on, one official may see it as a great block, and and the next day that official might think that's a holding call. So there's, I think, definitely a with this staff, with this refereeing crew today, just seeing a lot of crazy things. So it'll be interesting to hear from the coaches when they look at the film, and maybe they'll come back to us and say, "Hey, you know what? They were just calling a tight game, and that's why some of those penalties were called." So we'll see on that. I think on the game summary as we got the break in the action right now. I mean, this Whitney Young offense has been on the field almost the entire second half. So they have contained Bully. The first drive of the night was the 70-yard touchdown drive that Bully orchestrated with the touchdown catch to Arshawn A.J. Powell. They missed the extra point. And then the Dolphins, I have to try to, you help me out here. Let's see. I will go in no specific order. We had a touchdown catch by Nasir Rankin on a nice little bullet over the middle. We had a touchdown catch by Anthony Hood. We had a touchdown pass from Anthony Hood to Rankin. That gives us 3. We got some of these things are tough because it's like we had so many touchdowns that were called back. Good round of applause here for the down Dolphin player who's back up. Again, it's somebody on the team who has a medical condition, so they've experienced this before. It's always tough. It's tough on the player. It's tough on the family. But he's up and looking good, and so hopefully I think everything is everything's looking good. He's drinking some water.
Pat on the back.
Got his dad down there.
I even think I see some smiles, so definitely glad to see that. So, yeah, maybe can we try to run down the touchdowns that were called back?
Oh, my goodness. Touchdowns called back. Well, I mean, and again, I usually don't go back and look at these live streams because I've heard myself talk enough. But not only touchdowns called back, but in the early part of the game, the first and second quarter, I mean, the Dolphins were inside the 15 3 different times and didn't come away with points on, and each of those possessions had a ball that had hit a receiver's hands in the end zone, right? So you had all of those. Then you had touchdown 2 in a row. Like you a bunch of those were Joseph, so you probably have a better memory than
I believe he had 2 called
Yeah,
back.
yeah, because they had the screen pass.
The screen pass
that was wide open,
and the 50-yard run.
and then the run, that were called back. I think Jolich had a touchdown run callback, so that was ultimately the a scoring drive, but back-to-back touchdowns called back. Remy, you zoomed in on the Willis Tower right now? Yeah, so everybody at home, if you're hanging with us, Remy's getting a little arty on us right now. We're at Rockne Stadium, named after Knute Rockne, famous Notre Dame coach. Kind of not necessarily the father of the forward pass, but kind of one of the first guys to really implement that and get it started up. So Rockne, of course, Notre Dame. Tony McHale is a big fan. All Notre Dame fans. Notre Dame's got a little bit of a tussle on their hands this weekend.
Just a little bit.
Notre Dame against Ohio State. So I was actually, I called one of my friends, Anthony Hood, and was over last night with Karis, his girlfriend, and they were trying to park on our street. We didn't have a parking sticker, and I was trying to call my friend, who is a Notre Dame fan, and got a hold of him down in South Bend. So did not get a parking sticker from him, but did talk a bit about the game and their plans. So we've got our Dolphin player now on the bench. And I'll just, I might violate HIPAA rules here, but I know the Barrett family, your big follower, so is Ben. That was down, but he's doing fine, and Brian's next to him.
It's good to see Dad's got his arm around him.
Yep, I think he's doing okay. All right, so reset. That was after the kickoff return. So Barry Gordon, I think it's Marcus Woods and Baba Nefasimi Opedele, 3-man front. Snap goes over Bully's head. Bully running for his life out of bounds, ushered out by Champion and Maxwell Warner. So again, Bully doing a whole lot of work back there. And the Westinghouse team definitely just kind of trudging through the end of this game. Bully out of bounds, 3:07 left. Loss of 5 on that play. So ball at the 39-yard line. Ball at the 39, 2nd and 15. Bully, the quarterback, asking for it. Back under pressure. Jason Perez and Opedele at him. Now Clayton's after him. Now the ball is...
And they're going to call him for a late hit.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, well, I mean, they are getting paid by the flag. These guys, this is bonus time. Bonus time for this crew. And the Dolphins have definitely laid some licks on Bully. I think that's the second one. Joseph's going to get some, hey, maybe you could ask Coach Finger if they can deduct some of those stickers. So Dolphin players get stickers for various positive performances. Clayton may have to get another helmet to put all the stickers he's on. But, yeah, I mean, the Clayton family, if you're concerned about the financial impact because of the fundraiser, all of you out there, I mean, I'll ask some Dolphin players. There's a fundraiser that you can donate a certain amount. You can pledge a certain amount per sticker.
1st and 10. Warriors.
So Clayton piling up some stickers. Scott Clayton piling up his donation to Whitney Young Dolphin football. We're piling up a out-of-bounds pass from Bully with Champion on the coverage. 2:56 left.
2nd and 10. Warriors.
34-14. Might be able to sneak over here and see if I can grab some of Brian's stats, although I don't think I So the Dolphins going to bring off some of the starters. Babanefasimi Obadele, Juan Cepeda, bringing some of those young guys on the D-line. Cowbells are out. Cowbells out supporting that team. Bully with a keeper. I think that Champion was on the pursuit. Champion and Yolich, or actually Clayton was over there. Of course he was. So you got Adrian Del Villar checked in. Try to get some of the other guys that they just brought in. So I think the linebacker core and DB core is still the same, but they brought some of those guys in the trenches who've been battling it out all night and winning, right? The line definitely won on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. Westinghouse now find a hand it off. Clayton piling up another tackle. Clock running, 2 minutes left.
Gain of 3.
So that's going to bring up 4th and 9. 4th and 9 for the Warriors. They are...
In case you couldn't hear it, someone on the Dolphin side yelled flag on the play.
Yeah, it was one of the fans. It was not a player or a coach. They might be thinking it down there. So Bully looking deep. Great coverage over there on the side by Maxwell Warner. So Warner blanketed the receiver on a 4th down, and this ball is going to come back over to the Whitney Young Dolphins, where I think we're going to see at some point here maybe that favorite formation, the victory formation. Newman probably worried about his rushing average, so we'll see if he tries to edge this ball forward a little bit if he's going to take a knee. I would imagine they're taking a knee. So Babanefasimi and Marcus Woods, MJ Woods, checking back in after they got a nice round of applause for their work on the defensive line. But they're like, all right, guys, still got to play some offense here. But, yeah, I think we are in the victory formation. Newman with Rankin, Yolich around him, Anthony Hood in the deep position. Newman held it for a bit, got the clock rolling, and then took a knee at the 40. So they will have to do it 2 more times like that probably. So again, thank you for everybody sticking with us tonight.
Dolphins.
It was a heck of a game, a lot of fun, a lot of we surfed a few waves there. Surfed a few waves. We had a few waves crash over the top of us. We rode some all the way in, and they told us we didn't really ride it in. We complained way too much about the refereeing tonight, but there wasn't really much else to do. Given we have a lot of time to fill, right? And that's the tough thing on a penalty call too. We can't see the replay of things, but the end result tonight is that your Whitney Young Dolphins are going to go to 3-2. Westinghouse going to fall to 2-3. Again, an all-important, super important game within the Chicago Public League. So the Chicago Public League win within the cluster, within the CPL cluster where we exist with Westinghouse, Taft, and Bulls Prep. You can see the Dolphin player coming off the field. They are awful happy about the win tonight. It was a heck of a game. A lot of explosive plays. Bit of a slog, but what matters is that final horn going off right now, and the Whitney Young Dolphins with a 34-14 win over the Westinghouse Warriors. So next week we travel to Hyde Park I think this is first game that we're going to face against Hyde Park since 2009. So it's a Saturday game. Saturday game down at Hyde Park. We'll get that address out to everybody. We'll be on the air. It's a 1 p.m. game. So we'll be on air probably around 12:40. Hyde Park is a team that was a state qualifier last year, state qualifier from the white division in Chicago Public League play. So they moved up this past year to the red division. So we'll see Hyde Park. Hyde Park, if we just look back, let's see, they were a winner. They beat Perspectives 28-8. So we talk about transitive property on things. That's the same score that Whitney Young beat Perspectives by. Thanks again for everybody. Thank you, Scott, for accompanying me on this journey, this long and winding journey. Thank you to Athletic Director Chris Cassidy. Thank you to Principal Ricky Harris of Whitney Young. Thank you to Head Coach Dan Finger and the entire coaching staff. And, of course, to all of you, our Whitney Young Dolphin fans. Have a great weekend. Thanks a lot. Go Dolphins.
Go Dolphins.